worship you for me. For all the things you've done for me. Oh Lord, no one can worship you for me. Come on, let's sing it together. You Lord, you are worthy. Oh my God, I'm the one can worship you for me. For all the things you've done, Lord.
All the things you've done for me.
No one, Lord,
can worship you for me.
Come on, lift your hands. Here is my worship.
Here is my worship.
All of my
worship.
Father, receive
my worship.
All of my
worship.
Here is my worship.
Here is my worship.
All of my
worship.
Father, receive it, Lord.
Receive my worship.
All of my receive it, Lord.
Receive my worship.
All of my
worship.
Here is my worship.
Here is my worship.
All of my
worship.
Receive it, Lord.
Receive my worship. All of my worship.
Come on, lift your hands and worship Him. We serve the great and the mighty God. He is indeed the mighty, the unchanging changer. Yes, Lord, we worship you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Yes, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Great and mighty is your name.
Great are you.
Come on, everybody, lift your hands and worship Him this morning. Great and mighty God.
Great are you.
Oh my God, you are so great, Almighty God.
Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord.
Holy God Almighty. It's a privilege. Come on.
It's a privilege to worship.
You are the
Maker of.
Yes, Lord. We worship you this morning, Lord. We give you the highest praise.
It's an honor just to stand before.
Holy God, mighty God, awesome God,
Almighty.
oh yes, Lord.
It's a privilege to worship.
You are the maker God. He's an honor just to stand before you. With a grateful heart, oh Lord.
With a grateful heart,
come on, lift your hands, lift your voice, and give him the worship.
Proclaim me, Lord, you reign.
With a grateful heart.
With a grateful heart, I lift
Yes, Lord.
my hands.
Yes, Lord. Proclaim it, Lord, you reign.
Proclaim me, Lord, you reign.
Oh, yeah. You reign. Come on.
Great are you, Lord.
You are great, Lord.
Greatly to be praised.
Greatly to be praised and exalted.
Greatly to be praised.
My Father, you reign.
Father, you
Great and mighty God. Awesome God. Awesome vision God. Greatly to be praised. Greatly to be praised. Good morning, people of God. It's a glorious time in God's presence this morning, and we thank God for what God is already doing in our midst. It's Jubilee, and we shall all have reasons to jubilate. So this morning we're going to just worship God as we lift up the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. I want you to just forget about your surroundings and just know that you are in God's presence. And no one can worship God for you. You have to be the one to worship God yourself. So why don't you just lift your hands and just give him all the glory, give him all the honor, Lord. Father, we give you all the glory and all the honor. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. You are worthy. No one can worship you for me. For all the things you've done for me. Oh Lord, no one can worship you for me. Come on, let's sing it together. You Lord, you are worthy. Oh my God, and no one can worship you for me. For all the things you've done, Lord.
All the things you've done for me.
No one, Lord.
No one can worship you for me.
Come on, lift your hands. Here is my worship.
Here is my worship.
All of my
worship.
Father, receive
my worship.
all of my
worship.
Here is my worship.
Here is my worship.
All of my
worship.
Father, receive it, Lord.
Receive my worship.
All of my receive it, Lord.
Receive my worship.
all of my
worship.
Here is my worship. All of my
worship.
Receive it, Lord.
All of my worship.
Come on, lift your hands and worship Him. We serve the great and the mighty God. He is indeed the mighty, the unchanging changer. Yes, Lord, we worship you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Yes, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Great and mighty is your name.
Great are you,
Come on, everybody, lift your hands and worship Him this morning. Great and mighty God.
Great are you,
Oh my God, you are so great, Almighty God.
Great are you,
Lord, great are you, holy God Almighty. It's a privilege. Come on.
It's a privilege to worship.
You are the maker. Yes, Lord. We worship you this morning, Lord. We give you the highest praise.
It's an honor just to stand before.
Holy God, mighty God, awesome God.
Almighty.
Oh, yes, Lord.
It's a privilege to worship.
You are the maker. All the universe. It's an honor, mighty God.
It's an honor just to stand before you.
With a grateful heart, oh Lord.
With a grateful heart,
Come on, lift your hands, lift your voice, and give Him the worship.
proclaim you, Lord, you reign.
With a grateful heart.
With a grateful heart, I lift
Yes,
my hands.
Yes, Lord. Proclaim it, Lord, you reign.
Proclaim you, Lord, you reign.
Oh, yeah. You reign. Come on.
Great are you, Lord.
You are great, Lord.
Greatly to be praised.
Greatly to be praised and
Greatly
exalted.
to be praised.
My Father, you reign.
Father, you reign.
Mighty God. Awesome God. Awesome vision, God.
Greatly to be
Praise. Greatly to be
Greatly
praised.
to be
Greatly
praised.
to be praised. Father, you reign. Come on, just worship Him in the house this morning. We give you the highest praise and worship. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name we worshiped.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight arms bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
For the 14th anniversary of the church, Father, we are very grateful for sparing our lives till this day. And we ask, oh Lord, that you take control of everything we shall do today in the name of Jesus. Today is Americans' independence. We are going to pray from 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14 and 15. And we'll be reading from New Living Translation. Then if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and restore their land. My eyes will be open and my ears attentive to every prayer made in this place. Father, we thank you for the United States of America. We thank you for the independence of America, July 4th. Father, Lord, we ask that we heal our land in the name of Jesus. Father, everything that needs to be restored, Father, please restore accordingly in the mighty name of Jesus. Father, we are so grateful. Blessed be your name, O God. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. As we continue, we ask that we continue with us in the name of God the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Pastor Shadi Badru. Pastor Shadi is a senior pastor with our CCG King's Palace and also our co-host today. I would like to, this is the time to welcome Pastor Tunde Badru. Pastor Tunde Badru is the senior pastor of RCCG, the King's Palace, and he's also the chairman RLI and our host for opening remarks. Pastor Tunde Badru, where you're welcome. Please give us the opening remarks. May the Lord bless you and thank you. Happy anniversary. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it.
Thank you very much, Pastor Lumiajaguna. And I want to welcome everyone that have joined us all over the world, on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you may be right now. I believe the Almighty God to bless every one of us this day in the mighty name of Jesus. Happy American Independence Day. We just give God all the glory that we are all alive to see this day. Since some years back, say 15, perhaps 20 years ago, everybody has a vision concerning 2020. So governments all over the world, companies, organizations, you will hear Vision 2020, Vision 2020, Vision 2020. But then we got into 2020 and it was pandemic. And so people are beginning to, lose that vision, that dream they had about 2020 years back. Those that have 7-point agenda for 2020 are dropping it very quickly. Those that have dreamt about big things about 2020 are losing it very fast. Just because 2020 came with a shocker in the COVID-19 pandemic. But let me remind you that a young boy in the Bible, Joseph, had a dream. He dreamt once, he dreamt the second time. But right after the dream, he ran into trouble. First of all, from amongst his brothers. His brothers were out to kill him. Eventually, they sold him out. It wasn't different from a lockdown situation. And then from there, he moved down to the house of Potiphar, as a slave boy. But whether when he was in the pit with the brothers or when he got to the house of Potiphar, he never, he didn't lose his dream. He focused on the dream. And then from Potiphar's house where everything was looking nice, then there was a big conspiracy from Mrs. Potiphar that landed him in prison. And then all of these challenges are lockdown situations for Joseph. But Joseph did not lose the dream. He didn't lose his vision of greatness. Ultimately, he got into the palace of Pharaoh, where the dream began to find expression. I don't want you to lose that dream you had about 2020, years back. I don't want you to lose that vision that God had given to you just because of the pandemic. If anything at all, I think the pandemic should open our eyes to greater opportunities. And that's why I really want you to take everything from this conference. We have two great speakers that will be sharing with us, Dr. Tofade and Adeola Fayehun. They will come from, I believe, two different perspectives. Pastor Tofade is a senior pastor, and I believe very strongly, having done so much, accomplished so much, a great dreamer himself, and mentored and coached and helped so many people around the world. We drop some principles, some words into our spirit that will help us, that will challenge us to dream. And if you have dreamt before, then we need to dream again. Because Joseph dreamt not once, but twice. And he kept his dream regardless of all the challenges that he faced. For Adeola Fayehun, she's a very young, vibrant journalist that had decided to leave our dream experience, and very dynamic, very dedicated, very committed person, committed to our dream, committed to our passion, will not be derailed by any means. And I'm sure part of our life experiences will challenge us. She has met many great people with great dreams and great visions all around the world. And I'm sure as she shares some of those experiences, will trigger something in the lives of every one of us. I therefore welcome you to the Dream Big and Live Your Dream Life conference today. I'm praying for you that things will turn around for the best for every one of us in the name of Jesus. If the dream are dead, they are going to come alive. If the dream, if the vision is lost, then we are going to regain it back. It's a time to dream again. It's a time to dream big. And it's a time to begin to live our dream life. I welcome you. Thank you very much. Stay blessed and make sure you stay connected. It's time to get all your friends wherever they may be. Share on your Facebook, share on YouTube, do everything you can on Instagram. Just get everybody in, because we all need to dream big at this time. That's the way to survive. That's the way to triumph. That's the way to actually excel in this season that we'll find ourselves. The Almighty God will bless everyone connected to this program today in Jesus' name. Thank you very much. I hand over back to our moderator.
Thank you so much, Pastor Badru. This is the moment that we have been waiting for. Our first speaker will be none other than Dr. Bisi Tofade, the senior pastor of Jubilee Christian Church International, all the way from North Carolina. I won't be able to do justice to all that he has achieved. I'll now welcome an introduction video, and after which we'll have Pastor Tofade talking to us about the topic Dream Big. You're welcome, Pastor.
Dr. Alfred Bisi Tofade is the senior pastor of Jubilee Christian Church International, Durham, North Carolina. He is a licensed pharmacist in the state of North Carolina. With a doctorate in divinity and ministry, Pastor Bisi Tofade is an alumni of the Harvard Business School and a certified coach of the John Maxwell team, whose one of many passions is to help in the growth of corporate businesses and marketplace, and to develop leaders across all industries, including nonprofit organizations. He is the coordinator of the Nigeria America Business and Investment Group, a platform that facilitates investment flow between the U.S. and Africa. He is the founder and president of Jubilee Acts of Kindness, Inc., JAK, a nonprofit based in Durham, North Carolina, and he currently serves on the board of Africa Leadership Congress, an organization of core leaders of Africa in the U.S. Dr. Tofade is a highly skilled, effective, and well sought-after leadership development tutor and mentor in the USA. He is a gifted teacher, an author, and a dynamic speaker. Today, he serves as the senior pastor of Jubilee Christian Church International, Durham, North Carolina. Join me as we welcome this man of God, Dr. Alfred Bisi Tofade.
I'm excited, and I want to say Happy Independence Day to everyone, wherever you are. We celebrate the liberty we enjoy in this country, and we pray that it will continue. I want to wish the RCCG in Kings Park. I wanted to wish you a very beautiful anniversary. 14 years of God's faithfulness is something to celebrate. You know, not everybody started that actually is still there. We want to thank God for your life and want to thank God for the visionary leaders that you have in the person of Pastor Tofade and his lovely wife. I consider it a great privilege to be with you today as we talk on today's subject, dreaming big. I will be sharing with you my screen if I can, and let you see some of the few things and the next few minutes that we're going to be running together. And I would love to let you see some of the things. If I have the control on the screen, that would be very great. I want to talk today about dreaming big. And I had a few things too that I actually wanted to think about. Dream big, think big, and plan big. You know, it's not just dreaming. You got to dreaming start with thinking. And of course, with your dreams come with a plan. So please, I'm waiting for the host to give me the ability to share the screen so you can see a few things we're going to be sharing about. Again, I want to say to you, welcome, because we believe that the future belongs to the dreamer. See, the day you stop dreaming, that day you have started dying. A life that has no dream is a life that is going nowhere. The future belongs to those who can dream. All right, please permit me to share my screen so you can follow me from the screen. I believe you see the screen wherever you are. Once again, welcome, and it's a great privilege to have you in the house. My name again is Alfred Bisi Tofade, and I'll be talking with you today about dreaming big, dreaming big. All right, I just mentioned to you a few minutes ago that the future belongs to the dreamer. And if you do not have dreams, then that means you have no goals. And if you have no goals, then you are no going. If you want to go somewhere in life, if you want to accomplish great things, it begins with dreams. And it's my prayer today, those of you who are dreamers, come on, don't give up on your dreams. And those of you who have actually given up, I'm very happy you are in this meeting because God is going to give life to your dreams again. I want to challenge everyone, you are not too old to dream. There's no time you can stop dreaming. I want to quote from former president of Liberia, Mrs. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She said, the size of your dreams must always exceed your current capacity to achieve them. If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough. See, the size of your dream, the size of your reality. If you can see it, you can have it. See, what you make of 2020, even though as scary as it is, depends on what you see. While others see failure and crisis and pandemic and all kind of things, I want to actually talk to some individual who say, why don't we delete 2020? 2020 is not useful anymore. But I want to say to you, hey, there's still much in 2020. What do you see in 2020? Some see wasted years, but I'm seeing opportunity, immense opportunity. You are what you see. What you see is what you become. I want to share from the scripture with you today, Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20 to 21. See, there the scripture tells us about the value of a dreaming, of seeing things. It said, now unto him that is able to do immeasurably, abundantly, that's how King James Version put it, exceeding abundantly, above all that we can ask or think. You see, above all we can imagine. See, the power of imagination is the power of dreaming. In Genesis chapter 3, I want to share with you a very beautiful picture about dream. What's dream? What's a dream? I want to put it this way to you. Dreaming is seeing where you are going before you arrive there. You aren't there yet, but you see it. See, God began to speak to Abraham in Genesis chapter 13, verse 14 and 15. We'll read it because of our time. Genesis 13, 14, 15. You can write it down. See, the Lord said unto Abraham, he said, after Lot had left him, say, lift up your eyes. God didn't say lift up your legs. He didn't say lift up your hand. He said your eyes. When if your eyes is gone, you can't see anything. God said lift up your eyes and look from where you are currently, to northward, eastward, southward, westward. God said look everywhere. Then in verse 15, I'm reading Genesis 13, 15. It says, for all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it. God was saying to Abraham, you cannot have it until you see it. Before Abraham stepped into it, he saw it first. I want to say to you, this is the principle we're going to be talking about today. You have to see it first. If you don't see it, you can't have it. See, many of us, we just wishing things and, we wishing somebody will come in to help us and give us something. I want to say dreaming, whatever you want to begin, start with you. So today, I'm going to focus my sharing with you on 4 categories. And you may be one of these categories today. I pray that the Holy Spirit will bless you and minister to you. Let's have a word of prayer. Father, bless everyone hearing me right now. Let the hand of God come upon every dream and upon every dreamer. Turn every dream to reality. Inspire, breathe on us, give us grace. Thank you for the Holy Spirit anointing every word that will come out and bless every hearer. In Jesus' name, amen. Again, I want to talk about 4 categories. 4 categories. We all belong to one of these 4 categories. Number 1, I want to talk to people who perhaps you don't have dream. You will say, are there people like that? Yeah. Number 2, we're going to talk about people with small dreams. Number 3, I'm going to talk about people who have dying or death dream. And number 4, I'm going to ask those who have big dream to scale it up and encourage you how you can get there by the grace of God. Let's start with the first one. There are a lot of people today, you will be wondering, is that possible in our world? They have no dream. You mean there are people like that? Yes. All roads people. You know, when we were young, I remember there's a time we want to take a bus somewhere, and there's these big luxurious buses, they call them all roads. No matter where do you want to go, you just come in. See, you don't know where you want to go, you just come in, we'll take you there eventually. A dreamless life is a colorless life. If you have no desire, the Bible says God will bless the desires of the righteous. If you have no desire to present, you leave God with nothing to bless. So what I'm saying today is a person without dream is asleep in life. Is a living dead. You cannot score a goal without setting a goalpost. No dream, no goals. Yes, the grace of God is available to all, but each of us need to latch on it. It's like you enter an elevator, you enter into an elevator in a building. The moment you get in, the first thing you should do is to stick out your hand and point to some buttons and tell the elevator where you want to go. If you go in and you just sit down there or you stand there and you are looking at the elevator will be looking at you. Until you tell the elevator, I'm going to 14th floor, I'm going to the 5th floor, the elevator won't move. I want to say to you, life does not give you what you wish, it gives you what you demand. Place a demand on life. You are the architect of your future. The way you sketch your bed is the way you will lay on it. So the first people is get a dream. Every big and successful project in life begins with small building block of thoughts, dreams, and ideas. I pray to you today, wherever you are, whatever you are doing in life, may God help you to see the picture of what you can become. A dream is the possibility of your potentials. A dream is a description of what you can be, even though you are not there yet. A dream places you in the future that you have not arrived. So a dreamer is the one who controls the future. See, things don't happen in life by accident. Things happen by intentions, on purpose. If you want greatness in life, brother, start dreaming. I want to ask all parents, start putting dreams in front of your children. Begin to tell them what they can be. Look at yourself and say, look, I see a director material inside of you. You can become a director. You actually can become the senator, the president of this country. It's all with a dream. See, life don't happen by accident. You got to begin to see things before you arrive there. Number two, we're going to talk about people with small dreams. What about that? You see, oh, well, say, well, I have some dream, Everybody, at least everybody should have a dream. But the question is, yeah, but how big is your dream? Some of us have dreams that is too small. See, such people, they have small minds. I call it small minds. They are involved in every fight. They pursue every small stuff. Why? Because their dreams very small. I want to refer to a statement by Eleanor Roosevelt, one of the former first lady of this country. She said, great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. If you see people and every fight, here and there, every little gossip, you can tell you there are people with small dreams. If you have people like that around you, associating with them will limit where you are going. People with small dreams, they don't see the big picture. And many of us, we have inadvertently, we have placed limitations on God by the size of our dream. We think small thoughts and practically have small dreams. I look at the scripture and I want to give an example of a man called Esau in the Bible. Esau, I call him a man with a small dream. He could only see what was in front of him. You know the story. One day he came out from nowhere. He said, bro, I am angry, I'm hungry, I'm famished. I need you to give me food. Look at, you can read the story in Genesis 25, verse 31-34. Jacob said, well, brother, before you get the food, sell me your birthright. Jacob he had a big dream. He knew the value of a birthright. He was going to negotiate it. He was going to make a deal on it. He put the birthright of Esau, he put it on eBay. Let us negotiate. How much do you want? If I give you this pot of plates, can you give it back to me? The Bible said, Esau said, I am at this point ready to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me? That is a man with a small dream. You look at his birthright, what profit? What is good in it? Some of you today, this is July 2020, you look at your life like Pastor Babu mentioned. You thought the year is gone. You thought the year is wasted. Your business seems to be shutting down. All your contacts are closing up. I want to say to you, don't give up on your dream. Keep on dreaming. Don't look at where you are right now. There are greater things in your future. Esau said, look at it. What am I going to do? I am ready to be dead. Give me the pot of pottage. And Jacob said, well, brother, we will give it to you, but swear to me this day. And he swore to him. And he sold his birthright just like that. He sold it. See, Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage for what? For birthright.
Esau was a man who lived for the moment. He hid away his destiny on a plate of pottage. He mortgaged his future, the future of his children. No wonder we never heard much after that concerning him. I want to say to you, that is how people with small dreams think. They only see what is in front of them. They're about to die. They are about to call it off. They are about to quit. And they are just few moments from major breakthrough. I'm saying boldly to those of you hearing me this afternoon, wherever you are, whether you are in America, you are in Africa, or Europe, don't give up on yourself. Don't let this moment determine the future. Your future is bigger than the current. I want to say what is ahead of you is much more than what is behind you. So keep on looking, keep on dreaming. I was reflecting on this subject. Many of our leaders in Africa, though they have big portfolios, you know, they are ruling the nation, but they are people with small dreams. No wonder where we are in the continent is because our leaders have small dreams. I was reading the other day, I was reflecting on the story of a gentleman who embezzled money that was given to him to repair roads around his community. This guy, he took the money, he spent the money, but not long after that, the road he failed to repair. One day his mother got sick and they had to rush his mother to the hospital. Do you know it was the Ontario road? The road he embezzled the money. That was the same road they were going to drive his mom to the hospital. Of course, his mother could not make it. I want to say to you, people who are leaders, who have small dreams, they are killing potentials. See, in our nations today, you see no good hospitals. Our leaders fly out of the country to take care of themselves and their family. Those are people with small dreams. You know, they bury money in graveyard, in cemetery, and what have you. I pray today that God will change our nations. I'm describing a man with a small dream. And of course, the reason for small dream is because they have small mind. See, as the womb of a woman received the miracle of children, so God made our mind to be the womb to dream big things. So if your mind is small, you cannot see the big picture. So our mind is the medium for conceiving greatness and success. Oh, I pray today for you. May God grant you a sanctified and wholesome mind where God can place great ideas. Your limitation is in your mind. What you cannot achieve is what you have not conceived. May I say that again? What you cannot achieve is what you cannot conceive. If your dream only includes you, man, it is too small. See, if God will partner with you, our God is the creator of the universe, then our dream should be big. We must not allow the smallness of our present situation to distract us and take our mind from thinking big thoughts and setting great goals. I pray for everyone today, God will plant a great idea in your spirit. I read the story of a man some years ago. He had no hands, he had no legs. You see, it was when I was with John Maxwell, we were in this training, and this gentleman came in to speak to us. You know, and as he was just talking, I was just amazed. I'm going to just to let you see my face more. I will stop the sharing for a few minutes. This gentleman was placed on a table to speak to us. He had no hand. Some of you perhaps don't know his name. He was from Australia, and you know, his name was Nick. He began to speak. For the first time in my life, wow, how could a man who had no limb, no hand, man, they literally placed him on a table and he was speaking. And you know, that day my perspective changed. It is not about your hand, your leg, it's about what you see. When he was 18, in fact, he was born without limbs. He said when he was 17, 18, he wanted to kill himself. He was depressed, he couldn't see future, he couldn't see anything. He said, well, let me just die. But then, thank God, Jesus came to his life. He released his life to Jesus. And from that moment, he began to dream. He looked at his condition, said, I'm going to turn my story so that other people can hear about it. I want to say to you that today, that man flies all over the world. You see, he fly, many of you fly Turkey, he fly private jet, he fly first class, and he has no leg, no arm. I want to say to you, your limitation, your background is not your limitation. You may not have a great background, but that is not the reason why your back should stay on the ground. I want to say to you, dreams make the future beautiful and prosperous. So be a dreamer. Number one, I talk about people who have no dream. Number two, I'm talking about those who have small dreams. Number three, I want to talk about those who have a dying dream. All right, so I'm back on my screen. If you are seeing my screen, I'm talking about the third one. People whose dreams are dead dreams, or dying. Maybe yours is not dead, really, it's just dying. You know, like Pastor Bible said at the beginning, say we are 7 things to success. Right now, you put it under the pen, you're not forgetting. It doesn't matter, there's no road to success. I can't see any road to success here. But God is saying to you, come on, don't let that dream die. Some of you wanted to close your shop, say, well, let me just close it and cancel it, close the account. Come on, if you only have $20 in that account, keep it on, keep it on. Because the fire of dreams is going to come on you today. Your dream, by the hand of the Almighty God, is going to receive fresh impact. Maybe you're a pastor, you're a leader, you're a company director, whatever you do, you own your own business, or you're a career person, you're a professional, and you have this big dream for yourself. I want to say to you, don't let that dream die. So who has a dead dream? A person with dead dream is one who has given up on himself. He has given up on himself, he has given up on the dream because of the setbacks. May I say to you, some of the setbacks in our lives, they are intentionally designed by God for a comeback. So the setback of our lives under the divine hand of God can become a comeback or a set up for a comeback. God can bring things back. Even though Corona seems to have eaten a whole lot of 2020, but I want to say that God is still on track. God is a God of time and season. See, times and seasons don't bother God the way it bothers us. God can go to the past. God is in the current. He's in the future. Can you see the Almighty God in three words at the same time? He is in the past, He corrodes the present, and He's in the future. So all you need to do is say, God, I'm handling my dream to you. Whatever I miss, whatever is wrong, Lord, you can fix it for me. I want to say to someone today, your back may be on the ground, but don't stay on the ground. Nothing is over until God says so, until you too say so. So dreams are important, but you need to be a dreamer. Your dream needs to be active. Don't let your dream die. Don't let your dream fizzle out. Amen. You may have fallen several times. Rise up again. May I encourage someone today. You may have fallen. You have kissed the dust a number of times. I want to say, come on to you, brother. You are not a failure. Failure is not a person. Failure is an event. Don't label yourself a failure. It is a situation that failed. It's not you, not your life that failed. I want to say to you, you are not a failure until you quit fighting. Success, someone says, I want to give that to you. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. That is Winston Churchill. If you know the story of Winston Churchill, everybody thought Hitler had won. Hitler was messing up the whole of Europe. But thank God for Winston Churchill, who stood his ground. He will not give up. Thank God for that. Otherwise, Europe would have been an issue, would have been a communist country today. But for someone who said, no, we will not give up. So I want to say to you, brother, sister, wherever you are, young man, wherever you are, even some of you who are trying to go to college, I'm sensing my spirit. Some of you have been writing some board exam. You want to pass this board and say, well, bro, is it not possible? Give it up. Everybody who came before you, they wanted to be medical doctor, they sat the board failed them. But I want to say to you, come on, don't let it go. Do you know I came to the United States as a pharmacist, and I tried the first time on the board myself, and my wife was telling me what not to do, what to do. I just thought I knew what to do, and I couldn't kind of figure it out. I went for this exam, man. I failed that exam. I was surprised. I was like, man, failed? Yeah, I failed it. But see, I went back again and I said, well, the exam, we're going to do it one more time. So I went back to that exam. By the grace of God, I cleared it. Those of you who are struggling to pass a board exam, I want to say to you, don't quit fighting. You can do it. It is in you. Your destiny it has a DNA of God in it, and your God is not a failure. If your God never fails, you will not fail. So try one more time. Let me recite this motto to you. It was a motto, or they call it motto, M-O-T-T-O, of the French army. The French army, they have this motto, they call it for their legionnaires, their army. It reads like this: my friend, if I falter, miss my step, push me on. If I stumble, pick me up. If I retreat, shoot me. Let me say that again. If you tell that to your friend, that's a serious one. A soldier telling, that is their motto. They recite it when they're going to war. There is no turning back. If I falter, push me. If I stumble, pick me up. But if I retreat, don't hesitate, shoot. I want to say to everybody here today, you will not retreat. Come on, keep on going. Fight more. Because your dream is not over until you say it is over. All right, let me continue a few more things on this screen. Next, I want to show you on my platform is the story of a boxer. He lived in the 1800s. And one of the things that really stood out for him, he gave an advice to a fellow boxer. This guy's name was James Corbett. You can Google him. You see, he said this: a man is not finished because he is defeated. He is finished when he quits. A man is not finished because he's on the floor. You see, he is finished when he stops fighting. So he now gave this advice to his fellow boxers. He said, fight one more round. He gave it, and I'm going to read it to you. He said, fight one more round. When your feet are so tired that you have to shuffle back to the center of the ring, fight one more round. When your hands are so tired that you can hardly lift up your hands to come on guard, fight one more round. When your nose is bleeding and your eyes are black and you're so tired that you wish your opponent to knock you out, he said, fight one more round. Remember that the man who fights one more round is never weak. Fight one more round. Could you say to yourself, I'm going to fight one more round? Whatever it's going to cost me, I will do one more round. One more round. And if you keep telling yourself, fight one more round, fight one more round, fight one more round, I'm telling you, you will get there by the grace of God. So I want to say to your family today, bro, don't quit, fight one more round. Please don't stop that business. Don't close shop. Fight one more round, pastor. Don't close the church. Fight one more round. So the point I'm saying is, people of God, you got to be a fighter. If your dream is dying, may God breathe life on it again, fresh life. I want to give an example of Abraham Lincoln. I think the moderator can help me put that on the screen if you can. See, it is the story of a Lincoln. Lincoln's life was an example of a fighter. Some of you have heard of his name before. I will share his picture so that you can see it. All right. So the life of Abraham Lincoln was a man who fight in spite of failure. If you have not read the story before, I want to share that with you. Lincoln was a catalog of failure according to his historian. You know, in 1832, he lost job. 1832, he was defeated legislature. 1833, he failed business. 1834, they elected him to the state. He was in Illinois, so they elected him to the legislature. 1835, his sweetheart died. 1836, nervous breakdown. You have never heard this about Lincoln before, but I'm telling you that if you fight one more round, you never quit. No, he was defeated in 1838. He wanted to be a speaker of the state. They defeated him. He went again in 1843. He was nominated for Congress. He was defeated. Then in 1846, they elected him to Congress. But in 1848, after 2 years in Congress, he lost the nomination. In 1849, he was rejected for land officer. In 1854, he was defeated for Senate. Can you imagine? He lost Congress. Now he wants to be a senator. They defeated him. 1856, are you following the date? 1856, he was defeated for nomination for vice president. I mean, this guy was just a Jew. Can you imagine? Bro, you were just trying to be a state senator. Now he wanted to become the vice president. He was nominated. They defeated him. Then in 1858, he tried Senate again, they defeated him. But in 1860, he said, I'm going to try presidency. My God. I want to say your destiny is waiting on you. See, you quit too soon. Many of us, we quit. We didn't even know that we are almost at the end of the road. You gave up on yourself. You thought you couldn't do it. Look at Lincoln, 1860. He was elected the president of America, in spite of the catalog of failures. And now I think this is just an encouragement to me and to yourself today that don't quit. So your dream may be small, your dream may be done, but the word of God today is dream big. So the fourth thing I want to talk about is those who dream big. Dream big. So if you are in that category, lend me your ears for the next few minutes. You need to be a big dreamer. What are the lessons we can learn about dreaming big? And I'm going to share a few things with you about some vital things about a dreamer. One of the stories we read in the scripture was the story of Caleb. Caleb was a dreamer. If you have ever read about a story, see, when he was 40 years old, he was sent with Joshua. They went out to survey the land. And they came back, everybody had this negative report, we cannot do it, the place is going to eat us up. In fact, we saw ourselves as grasshopper. When we called them men, you know what we saw? We saw giants. See, what you see is what you become. Some of you, all you see is small things. I pray today God will open your ear, open your eyes, open your spirit to begin to see big things. So here they came back, Joshua chapter 14 verse 12. So 45 years came by and rolled away. So one day Joshua and Caleb, they were both like 85 years old. Caleb in particular, he was 85 years old. So he came to the land and he confronted and approached Joshua. And this is what he said in Joshua chapter 14 verse 12. You can write it down for yourself. Joshua 14:12. He said, now therefore give me this mountain. I remember when I was 40 years old, Moses gave me a promise. I've never stopped dreaming. That dream is still here. Say, for you heard how the Anakims were there, and the cities were great and fenced. If so be, the Lord will be with me, then I shall be able to drive them out. He was telling Joshua, give me this mountain. My eyes is fixed on it. I have seen it long ago, and now I'm going to get it. So Joshua was not, he had no choice but to let go. See, Caleb said, I'm not waiting for Lot. You are dividing everything by Lot. No, I am taking what I want. I said earlier on, see, don't wait for life to be divided to you by Lot. Life does not give you what you desire. It is what you demand. So Caleb said, I am seeing a picture. I want to be on that mountain. Do you know that was one of the best places in Israel? That was where Hebron was, where David started ruling. Hebron belongs to the tribe of Judah because their forefathers have dreams. Do you know your dream today will help your children to scale through? If you're a man with a small dream, you already limited some of your children. Some of us, even fathers, the way we talk to our children, we just make their minds say, look at you, boy. Johnson, come here. Johnson, look at you. You are nobody. Stupid Johnson. What do you think? What do you think you know? Do you know when you are sowing such seed in the life of your children, you are killing their dream? Some of us adopt today, our parents kill our dreams. When you are smart and just say, Daddy, I want to be a dramatist, I want to be drama. Daddy say, what drama, what drama, what? No, but none of your family, nobody get paid for drama. Thank God for Sister Adeola today, who is doing some kind of a drama. You know, if not for following dreams, some of us, our parents kill our dreams. But I want to say to you, don't kill the dream of your children. Dream big, see big stuff. So here was Caleb making a demand. Give me this mountain. And you know what happened? He was 85 years old. And of course, you know what happened? Joshua had no choice but to give him the dream. He gave him. Your limitation is what you see and how you see it. So you know what eventually happened? Joshua and Caleb conquered that land. He took it over. He drove the Anakims out because he was thinking big. Now let's look at some 7 lessons that Caleb taught us. If you can dream, there are some 7 lessons. I want you to write down if you have a little time in your hand, dear, very briefly. Number 1, Caleb is teaching us that never settle for less than your potential. You carry potential, but don't settle for less. Don't let anybody undercut your value. Some of you, when you go to a company to negotiate salary, you ask for too small salary because you don't see yourself as any big deal. Say, what do you want to pay? They ask you how much do you want to get. Say, well, if you can give me 20,000, and they are already planning to give you 60 or 100,000, you cut yourself short, brother, because your dream is too small. So this is 7 lessons. Never settle for less than your potential. Number 2, exercise a daring faith. We're looking at the lessons Caleb taught us about dreaming. Exercise a daring faith. That is what I call audacious faith, bold faith. Bold faith people, they take bold steps, they take bold decisions. Where you are going, brother, is bigger than where you are coming from. But you got to step out of the boat. You're sitting down in the boat, you are not testing the water. Come on, step out the boat. The difference between Peter and the other disciples, I can tell you, one of the differences, none of them can tell the story, what it meant to walk on water. Nobody had that experience because they all sat down in the boat. When Jesus said, Peter, come, and Peter was coming, I can imagine Andrew, his brother. Say, Andrew, you want to kill yourself? What will I tell your wife? What will I tell your children that you feel perishing that stupid Peter? But Peter took the bold step. He was walking on the water. Why? He had a daring faith. He had to look at Esther. Esther said, if I perish, I perish. That is a daring faith. And some of you need that kind of faith to confront the assignment in front of you. Exercise daring faith. Number 3, get a dream. No dream, no goals. We said that. Number 4, write the dream down. Write it down. Many of you are just thinking, I have this idea, I want to say to you, write it down. Some dreams are not for now. Some dreams are going to come to you in 10 years' time. Some of us have seen things that people are doing right now, and we started writing it like a few years away. Write your dreams down. Even if it doesn't make sense to you, write it down. Number 5, talk the dream. Talk it. Every waking moment, talk about it. See, what you are afraid to share or talk about might be an indication you don't believe in it. If you are sure of it, give voice to your dream. Talk about your dream. Let your dream hear you. Say, one day, this is what I saw, this is what I'm becoming. And the more you are talking to your friend, the more you are talking to your neighbors, the more it's coming real to you. But I want to say to you, number 6, be careful who you are talking to. Be careful, because around the corner there are 2 people waiting for your dream. Number 1 is what I call dream helpers. Number 2 are dream killers. Watch who you are talking to. If you talk to someone who kills dream, the moment your dream lands and they say, oh my God, brother, it is not possible. I have seen 5 people who started what you are talking about, they failed. See, you are talking to a dream killer. Some of you, we have lost valuable time because you spoke to wrong people. You just downloaded all God gave to you. And they say, that dream is too big for you. There's nobody from you have accent. Your accent is a problem, bro. You can't do it. There's nobody who has accent who can do that. Come on, who told you that? Your dream is, God knows you have accent before He gave you the dream. So come on, ride with your dream. Your God who gave you the dream is bigger to help you with the dream. So be careful who you are sharing your dream with. And number 7, I'm talking about what are the things that will help you to overcome and make your dream become big. Number 7, expect opposition. Whatever is meant to be great, I want to say to you, it will be challenged. When you have big dreams, you can expect opposition. Criticism. The adversary will laugh at you. You remember the story of Nehemiah. Nehemiah came to the town and said, well, brothers, sisters, let's build. We can build this wall. We can build the walls and make it. The Bible says, Sanballat and Tobiah say, hey, look at this. You know, we tried that. Nobody can do. They first of all ridiculed him. When he didn't listen to their ridicule, then they began to attack him. I want to say to you, if you're a dreamer, your dream will be attacked. Joseph got into trouble not because he was taller than the rest of them. He got into trouble because of his dream. It was his dream that caused him to be sold. If not for dream, you would have still stayed in Canaan. His dream defined him. I want to say to you today, your dream will define you. Your dream will make you stand out. See, the reason Joseph was sold outside the scroll was annoying to start with. His dad created a problem. Why would you give him multicolored clothes? His clothes was just annoying. The moment he put it on, they were just crazy. But that was not the reason. The reason is his dream. He says, let us sell him or let us kill him, and then we will see what will become of his dream. So the issue was not his clothes. The issue was his dream. I want to say to you, the devil is afraid of a dreamer. Every time, even a child, a baby, the devil is afraid of a baby. That was why in the days Jesus was born, Herod killed all the infants. Why? He was afraid of a baby. I want to say to you, your potential is bigger than what you thought. So don't sell yourself short. Keep big dreams and keep talking about it. Like I said, number 7, expect opposition. Opposition will come, and when it comes, be ready to deal with it and move forward and get your dream. I'm going to be wrapping up. I want to talk about the planning stage of a dream. You know, when you are dreaming, someone say, yeah, I have this big dream. Yeah, Pastor, I've been dreaming. It's not happening. There are other things you are not doing about your dream. Let me just give few things more to you. So you dream big. Yeah, that's great. You set goals. That's great. But then you need to take action. And I'm just going to share very brief things to you about planning big. Don't forget my topic is dream big, think big, plan big. See, I see the 3 of them working together. See, God wants to fill your nets and sink your boat. You remember the story of Jesus and having an encounter with Peter and his brothers. Jesus said, boys, you guys want to have a big catch? Jesus said, let down your nets, plural, into the sea, into the deep sea. And the Bible says Peter left one net. He just left one net. You know what he was thinking? He couldn't see what Jesus was talking about. Jesus said, let down your net for a draught. And the Bible says, Peter said, nevertheless, at your word, I will let down the net, one net. And when they had done that, the Bible says, a great multitude of fishes came, and their net broke. You know what happened that day? The dream of Peter could not carry his potential. You have potential, brother, but your dream is like the foundation. What you are building on it depends on the strength of your dream. That day, I thought, Peter, you missed an opportunity. They could have bought another boat. See, they could have had several catch. The Bible says the ship was sinking. They had to call on fellows. They said, come on, help us here. We have a problem here. What do you see in that picture? Number 1, 2 problems with Peter in that picture was, number 1, his dream was small. He couldn't see what Jesus was talking about. Number 2 was, even if he could see it, he had no plan for it. Look at that. There was no plan for the dream. Many of you are planning it. I'm dreaming. But what is the plan? You have no plan. See, they should have rented more nets. They should have gotten other boats around. They should, all of that. It shows you are ready. Somebody went to prayer meeting one day to pray for rain. And the pastor said, well, brother, welcome. We all pray for rain to come. Then he said, where are your umbrellas? Can I see your umbrellas? Nobody brought an umbrella. Meaning we don't even believe that rain is coming. Brother, I want to say to you, rain is coming. If you see it, get your umbrella ready. So that is what I call planning big. So I want to say to you as I'm wrapping up, preparation, planning, and continue positioning yourself and pursuing that dream. Those are the things that will help you to get there. Someone says, that is Dwight Eisenhower. He said something, I have about 5 minutes, so I'm going to wrap up. He said, plans are nothing. Planning is everything. Many of you just have a plan, you just sit down and say, I'm dreaming. I've written it down, pastor said, write it down. But then, what is the plan? Have you bought the net? Have you rented additional boats? You know, the scripture tells about the woman who Elisha said, go borrow vessels, not a few. You remember the story? That's the story of a dreamer too. But see, when you don't see what was coming, so she borrowed some vessels, but she didn't borrow enough. And then she began to pour oil, 1 drum full, another drum full. And then he said, son, bring me another vessel. And the boy said, Mom, the vessel is over. There's no more vessel. I said, what a missed opportunity. See, God's power is unlimited. If that woman had borrowed vessel from the old city, the anointing of God would have filled it that day. But what is your plan? What are you planning? What are you seeing? If wishes were horses, then that will ride. You know that. So planning is important. Let me close with this story. Elijah and Elisha. And I want to close by telling you some 4 prices, 4 kinds of price every big dreamer must pay. If you are dreaming today, don't say, Pastor, I have this big dream. Oh, you know what? I'm going to get it one day. You got to have some plan in place. So I'm going to share the story of Elijah and Elisha. See, Elisha demanded from his boss, his master, I say, I want double of yourself. I mean, that is impossible. Elijah was able to know nobody has ever asked things like that. How can I give you what I don't have? Then he said, well, okay, if you can see me cut up, we'll see what you can get it. See, Elisha, he had a dream. His dream was, I want to be anointed the way this guy was. Compare that with Gehazi, his own servant. Gehazi wanted to have money. His own dream was for money. But Elisha said, no, double of yourself. I don't care about the other sons of prophet, double of yourself. Just give me double of yourself. So Elijah was, all right, we're going to get double if you want it, if that's your dream. But there's a price you need to pay. The price is waiting for you. Let me give you the 4 prices very quickly. Number 1, the Bible tells us, so Elijah said, this is story in 2 Kings chapter 2, verses 9 and 10. So Elijah said, okay, come over with me. Let's go on a journey. And say, I'm going to Gilgal. Will you stay here? Elisha said, no, we are going to Gilgal together. When you get to Gilgal, I'll be there. Then they go to Gilgal. He said, well, Elisha, will you stay here? I'm going to Bethel. He said, no, I'm going with you. Then they go to Bethel. Elisha said, well, you know what? The journey is taking me to Jericho. Say, well, Elisha said, I'm going with you. Then, of course, Jordan. What is the meaning of these 4 things? If you have dreams, number 1, you can write it down for yourself. There's a price that you must be willing to pay anytime you are dreaming. So you have to position yourself. Number 1 is Gilgal. What is Gilgal? Gilgal, if you remember the story, it was a place of circumcision. It was a place of pain, a place of death. When Moses was commanded by God to circumcise all the Israelites, it was painful. So what am I saying to you? The beginning of your dream is understand no pain, no gain, no sacrifice, no blessing. If you have a big dream, you must be willing, you must be ready to pay the price of success. Otherwise, you will die a mediocre. If you want it, are you willing to go for it? May I ask everyone today, have you been to Gilgal? Gilgal is a place where what you believe has a chance. But it starts there. Let's go to the Bethel. This is the last part. I'm going to close with this. Let's go to Bethel. What does Bethel mean? Bethel is a place of prayer. You remember that in the scripture. A place of prayer, a place of vows. So if you want your dream to come to pass, you need to birth it in prayer. You need to bring it before God and let God's presence overshadow it. And that's number 3. Number 3 gets us to Jericho. What is Jericho? So don't forget Gilgal. Gilgal means sacrifice, pain, cost, what it will be, the price you're willing to pay. Bethel is want that dream in prayer. Spend more time with God. And then number 3, Jericho. What does that mean? Jericho, you remember, it's a place of fight. In Jericho we fight, a place where fighting takes place. The world is not a pleasure ground, it's a battleground. I want to say to you, if your dream will have a chance are you willing to give it a fight? If this year will be different, when are you willing to do different this year? You must trust God for battle orders. And if you are willing to give him the fight it takes, you will go to Jordan. What is Jordan as I wrap up? Jordan is the last place, the place you meet before you go into your promised land. So Elisha has the mantle, and then he got to Jordan. And the Bible says he didn't care what the other sons of prophets who were looking around, who wanted to mock him. He just pulled the mantle. He put the mantle on the Jordan, said, Jordan, God of Elisha, God of Elijah, answer. And the Bible says Jordan divided. What does that mean for people of dream? It means a place of faith action, a place of crossing. If you really believe it, then do it. See, some of you, you've been planning and dilly-dally, say, yeah, I'm planning. Yeah, Pastor, I've been planning for 20 years. Do it. Those are the kind of things. Don't worry about the ridicule. Don't say, well, if I say, yeah, failure is not a big deal. I want to say to everyone, listen to me. Many of us, we are afraid of failure. And the fear of failure is actually the master of failure. If you want to fail in life, don't do nothing. But as I close with you today, I want you to cross that Jordan. It is the last place where you release your faith and say, God, I'm not going to bother about the gainsayer. They may ridicule me, they may make fun of me. It doesn't matter. I believe you, all things are possible. And as you do that, I want you to be aware of what I call the last one, I call the spoiler. Your spoiler is waiting for you. The spoiler is at Jordan. Who is a spoiler? Is it that spirit of discouragement that tells you, man, you cannot do it? It is that last thing you have to face and deal with and call him the spoiler. It's a demon spirit, demon of discouragement. It tells you failed and you fail again. It brings your past to you. It says, look at your past, look at you are nothing. And sometimes it could be people around you, they reminding you the story you are nobody. See, they tell you, look at what you can't get this done. And so that's your spoiler. You are Jordan, brother. Cross it. Don't worry about the spoiler. Pray against them. Don't be discouraged. Don't give up. Be like Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison said, after he had done about 5,000 experiments that didn't work, he said, oh my God, Thomas Edison, pity you. Say, no, don't pity me. I've just known 5,000 ways how not to get a bulb filament. I am not a failure. So I want to say to you as we close today, dream again. Dream again. This is the last line. What are you dreaming about today? See the cat? That cat is dreaming. What are you dreaming about? Do you have a dream? I want to pray over your dream today. In fact, the Holy Spirit be in His thoughts to say to you, present 3 dreams today. I don't know who I'm speaking to today, but if you are hearing me, I want you to present 3 dreams before God. 3 things you would like to ask God to do for you. 3 things. What are your dreams? And we're going to prove that as I close, that God's power to fulfill will come upon it. And God will give you what I call the finisher's anointing. What does that mean? In other words, when you begin, you will finish. And number 3, that God will give you resources. Resources for that dream. Human resources, financial resources, material resources. If you lay your hand before God, let's pray together. Before I hand over to the moderator, present 3 dreams, 3 things. I don't know whether you have 1 dream or 2 dreams or 3 or more, but just let's pray together. Say, Lord, I present my dream before you. Nothing is hard for you. Nothing is impossible. You are God. You are God by yourself. And so, Lord, I receive today the power for fulfillment. I hand over my dreams to you. Oh God, breathe upon it. If your dream has died, come on, bring it again. Say, Father, breathe upon my dream. I believe you, all things are possible. Lord, I receive for everyone under the sound of my voice the finisher's anointing, that what you start, you will finish. The grace to complete. You will not have unfinished projects here and there. May God grant you grace to finish. You will finish strong. You will finish well. I bless you today with resources, human resources, financial resources, helpers of destiny, material resources, everything you need to fulfill that dream. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you all for listening. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that.
My pleasure.
Dr. Bisi Tofade. I have been truly blessed. You know, understanding that the future belongs to the dreamers and there is a price that every big dreamer pays. And God never fails. That is very reassuring in this season and in this time. Our dream is not over until we say it's over. And one thing I learned from it is that we should make sure that we always write down our dreams. Preparation, planning, and pursuing will help us achieve our dreams. Thank you so much, sir. We now have opportunities for questions on all our platforms. Please send in your questions. We can see a number of comments on the platforms attesting to how participants have been blessed, truly blessed by this. May the Lord bless you and enrich you, sir.
Amen.
While we wait for more questions, I would like to ask, like you expatiate on this, with a mindset that the size of one's dreams must always exceed their current capacity, how does one energize and equip oneself towards achieving their dreams?
Thank you very much, Pastor Bumi, and I appreciate again having me here. Like the lady who quoted said, and I also always believe it, that your dream, if it's just your size, you don't need God. But if your dream is bigger than yourself, then you say, God, I need you. So think about dream as stretching. You see, if your dream is something you can just, I call it the comfort zone. Many of us have comfort zone, where our comfort zone is comfortable. And you can never, comfort zone is comfortable. That's why you are not maximizing yourself. Comfort zone is the easy zone. But the stretch zone, what I call the stretch zone, is when you reach out, you stretch. And you know what, when you are stretching, the grace of God, nobody see you stretching. Something comes on you. So I feel that everyone today, our dream has to scale up beyond our. If you are just dreaming what you can see, then you don't need anybody. You don't even need God. But when you scale it up, then people around you. So when you have a dream that is bigger than yourself, it begins to give you with the planning that who do I need to help me fulfill this dream. I want to see that a lot of us, particularly from Africa, we are so narrow-minded. We only keep things to ourselves. You are afraid that someone is going to steal your dream. Someone, man, if you say, man, that dream is gone. But I've come to understand in my life that there are certain things that God has given me. I cannot do it by myself. I need people who can buy into the dream. You need people around you, and that's just finding the right person is key. So finding somebody, if there's somebody who has been where you are trying to be, they can help you. Find a mentor, someone who has climbed what you are trying to climb. So with that, it can help you to scale to where you need to be. And of course, with the grace of God, with the power of prayer and the combination of a mentor, I also will say to you that if there's a dream that's in your heart, find out who has ever done that. Read up, check, research, make research. That is part of dreaming. Research. Who has done this? If it has not been done before, okay, but if it's been done, then you don't need to reinvent the wheel. We climb on mentor's shoulder so that we can see further. So many of us, we need those kind of mentors in our lives. And we have 3, 4, 5 mentors. Somebody mentoring you spiritual, somebody mentoring you in business, somebody mentoring you in academic. It could be different layers, and it will help you to fulfill your dream. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for that, sir. As the saying goes, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. So what is your advice for those who cannot really hold on to a dream or learn to dream, basically?
All right. The first thing I said, people who have no dream. It's hard to say there will be somebody in this world who have no dream. Yeah, it is possible, but I would say that everybody should have some kind of a dream. I say something is wrong with you. In other words, even if you're getting married, you should say, okay, what do you want to see? I've seen a lot of people say, I want to get married. I say, what do you want from marriage? I just want to get married. After marriage, you don't have a dream. What's going on beyond the day of wedding? That is part of dream. So I feel that everybody should have a dream. But if you do not, you find yourself like, well, I don't know what this dream is all about, then I would say begin to read. One of the things I accustom myself as early in my early life is learning to read. I try to read history. I try to read other people. What have they done? I try to understand my environment. Then the second thing to give you a dream, if you don't know how to dream, look around you, look into the world we live in and see where problems are. Every problem needs a dream. In fact, I say this to myself, that the world is for people who can solve problems. And there are so many problems that Corona has created, thousands of problems. I want to say to everyone this as a word of prophecy. Many of you are looking for a job. There is a job inside of you. In fact, you are supposed to be an employer of labor. Look around you. There are problems. People are trying to figure things out. You find a solution to that problem. That is your dream right there. Look about Nigeria, where some of us came from. If that place needs help, what can I fix there? Look at America. Look in the state where you live. What can I solve? That is a dream. And of course, there are things too that you are born with. Maybe the talent you have a gift in your life. It is good for us to look inward. What is my giftings? What are the callings I have in my life? Because many times our gifts, our callings are indication of what God wants to do in our lives. So I would say, do an internal search, look inward. What do you see? Other people say about you that you are good with. You know, what we love to talk. I talk to members of my church. Many of you can talk 30 minutes on the phone. Hello, I'm happy to have you. Maybe you're supposed to be doing a talk show. See, you just don't know. What are you doing with that talk? You are gossiping people. See, convert those things in your life. It looks like it's not a big deal. Some of us are very funny. See, you are naturally funny. Even if you are laughing, other people are laughing. Your laughter provokes other people to laugh. Maybe you are meant to be a comedian. You know, some of us we can be singing in the bathroom. Wax a record. No, come on, call your family together. Everybody come together. Mommy has an idea. We're going to create a music where you are going to be singing bass. Call your husband, sing bass. I'm singing treble. You know, God is giving us ideas all around us. It's all dreams potential. But open your eyes, engage your mind, think. The word think. Many times this is a problem with many average people. We don't think. In fact, we're so lazy thinking. We even ask people, what do you think? Why don't you think yourself? See, if the thinking capacity is part of the fundamental grace that God gives to us, human beings. We think. Animals don't have that capacity. We can think. So lock up your dogs, sit in your room and say, Father, release dream to me. If you do one day of that, God will download stuff into your spirit. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for that, sir.
Thank you.
We just want to ask one last question, and it says basically that considering, because you gave some talk on great minds, and considering that we have people who have great minds and dreaming just comes naturally for them, would you say that great minds are born or are they developed?
The point is both. It could be a grace of God that is given. It's possible. Think about Albert Einstein. We were told that he has IQ that was over 100, whatever that number is. Some people are born like that. They have this, IQ that is high scale. Julius Caesar. If Julius Caesar were to live in our days, I mean, you can imagine who we will be. In his own days, there was no internet, there was no things like that. See, those are people with IQ who are born for a time. So many people have that. But others, you may not really have it inborn, but we develop it, we grow. One of the things we do to grow our IQ, our mind, is understanding our environment, reading. I want to say, if you're going to be a great leader, people say great leaders are great leaders. If you're going to be an inventor, if you're going to be, you have to be concerned about your environment. So I don't want to limit it. What if I'm not born with a great mind? So I can know you can develop it. Association also matters. If you associate with the right people, so see, iron sharpened iron. If you associate with stupid people, you're going to become stupid. If you associate with people who are intelligent, who are far in front of you, running after them, they will transfer things to you. So your association, your environment, and then whatever it is that God has given you, and more importantly also, you can ask God, God give me, I need you to enlarge my heart. I will close with this. You remember Solomon, the Bible tells us about Solomon. The Bible says God gave him largeness of heart. See, what does that mean? God literally expanded his heart, or his mind. Let's put it that way. He expanded, he said he gave thousands and thousands of proverbs. How did that happen? He asked God, and God gave it to him. So we can ask God, say, God, enlarge my mind, expand it, and God can do that for us too.
Thank you so much for that, sir. We have been truly blessed by this session, and I would like to welcome on board Pastor Namdi Iguna, who's the assistant pastor of RCCG, the King's Palace, to take us through a few announcements. Pastor Namdi.
Thank you very much, Pastor Bumi Ajagna. We give God praise. Thank you so much, Pastor. Today we give you praise. We give God praise for your life. We've really been blessed today. Thank you so much for those wonderful insights and wonderful things that we have learned today. We give God praise.
And comes from the Yoruba ethnic group of southwestern Nigeria. Adeola earned a BA in Mass Communications and Journalism in 2007 from Olivet College in Olivet, Michigan, and a master's degree in broadcast journalism from CUNY Graduate School of Journalism. Fayehun founded the Olivet College TV studio, and alongside her husband, Victor Fayehun, created a nonprofit foundation called Kurwa Foundation that provides aid to the terminally ill in Africa. She is very well known for her weekly satire show, Keeping It Real with Adeola, on her YouTube channel that has over 400,000 subscribers and growing. Join me as we welcome Adeola Fayehun. Adeola Eunice Oladele Fayehun.
Oh, we're live. Sorry. Hi. Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm like, what am I doing here? After listening to Dr. Alfred Tofade talk, I was like, why am I here? Like, my mouth was wide open. I literally packed my stuff. I was like, all right, y'all, it's been real, and I'm keeping it real up in here. Until next time, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace out. So I was peacing out, and then I was like, let me bring myself back. Because Daddy has said everything. Honestly, it is so hard for anybody to follow that kind of presentation, especially when you are a shy girl like me. So, Father, you must help your girl. So thank you so much for having me. I do not take that for granted, and I am honored to be here. Colin Owen is here, by the way. Of course, he's filming. He's the reason why you're seeing us. So Colin Owen is here. He's outside, actually. He's taking pictures with people because he thinks he's a celebrity. But I have an amazing person with me here, so if I do well today, it's because he's here. The one and only, my best friend, the amazing one. Amen. Good looking. The most beautiful man that God ever created. Ever so calm, cool, and collected. My husband, I love you. Victor me. So he's here. You guys will not see him. He's a very private somebody. But he's here, and he's the reason why we will enjoy this talk. So, as you guys already know, the title of this program is Dream Big and Live Your Best Life. And so much has been said already that I'm not sure what else to say, but I just want to talk about three things, and that is why you must dream, how to dream, and of course living your best life, not someone else's, but your best life. But you know, before I talk about why you must dream and all those things, I feel like whenever we talk about dreaming, sometimes people overthink this thing. They think it's like one complex thing. Some people don't want to dream because they don't want to be disappointed, and I don't blame them. Some people have dreams. Some people were actually doing really well going after their dreams, and then life happened. You know, so some people don't want to set themselves up to be disappointed. And also, a lot of people think it's complicated when you talk about dreams, but it's actually not. It's not that complicated. Having a dream is basically having a plan for your life, so you don't just live life, so you don't just take whatever comes your way. It's like having a plan. You know, the same way you won't go to the airport without having a plane ticket in your hands, you can't just go to the airport if you don't have a destination. Like, we don't go to school without a plan. If you go to school and you don't have a plan to do well, if you get F9, then you won't feel mad, you won't be upset because you didn't have a plan in the first place. So having a dream about your life is having a plan for your life. And I like to reverse by saying it's also agreeing with your maker. It's like a product agreeing with the maker's manual. You guys know that every single thing has its own, every single thing has what it's supposed to do. This my cell phone, if I start using the cell phone to sweep the floor, you will think I'm crazy. There's a reason why the cell phone was made. I have my glasses here. The moment I start drinking with this, you will say I'm going crazy because that's not what it was made for. And it's the same thing with every single one of us. We all have our own owner's manual as well, because every single person created was made for something. You were made for something, not the regular life. And it's not that complicated to find out what exactly you were made for. Naturally, you would enjoy whatever it is that God made you to do. It wouldn't be forced. There are some people that are so good in singing, you don't even have to beg them. The moment they can lay their hands on microphone, you know that Brother Lagbaja is in the house. You don't have to beg them. They don't have to cry before the sun will come. And some people, even if you offer to give them money, they will not go up there. They'll be like, no, that's not for me. That's not who I am. It comes naturally. It doesn't mean that you won't have to perfect it. It doesn't mean that you won't have to go to school to study more in that line. It doesn't mean that you won't have to practice over and over before you do what you were meant to do. But there's always something that comes naturally to you. And that's why we have books like Talent is Not Enough. Like when you're talented, if you read a book like that, Talent is Not Enough, you learn a lot about money, your skills. So it's agreeing with your maker's manual, because a lot of people just live life without ever thinking about, why am I here? What am I good at? What kind of life do I want? What do I want to be remembered for when I die? Some people have never actually taken time to sit down and think about how their life is going, if that is what they want or that is just what life has thrown at them. You know, many people live what we call the normal life. You go to school and you want to get all A's, especially if you have African parents. God help you if you get a B. You will hear what? I'm paying this amount of money, this much, and you are coming home with B. Look at me, look at your father. You think we score B? You think that is why we are here today? No. So you have to get A's, all A's, if you have African parents. And then, of course, once you're done, you get a job. Preferably a lawyer, a doctor, if you have African parents. God help you. If you say you want to be a journalist and you have African parents, you're on your own. So you get a job, you get married, you start having kids, and then you work and work and work. And people will tell you, it's okay, even if you're not having time with your kids, you're not having time with your spouse. They will tell you, just wait until you're 60 and then you can do whatever you want. Does that make sense at all? To be waiting till you are 60 before you start dating life. But believe it or not, that's what a lot of people do. They just follow the crowd. They don't have a map. They don't have a plan. They just do what other people are doing. And that is what they think is expected of them. And so they just keep going like that. I don't want to say like zombie, but like robots. They think, okay, at this age, okay, I think I'm old enough to get married, let's get married. Okay, I think I'm old enough to do this, let's do this. They don't actually have a plan. So that is what it means to have a dream, is to be deliberate about your life. And it doesn't matter how old you are, has nothing to do with age. The earlier the better. The earlier you start being deliberate about your life, the better off you would be. So that is what it means to dream. It's about sitting down. I like to tell people that once in a while it's good to take yourself out of the picture and just look at your life like an outsider, like you're watching a movie. If you should sit down and look at your life so far, are you happy with what you see? Are you glad with where you are right now? So it includes taking a step back and looking at what you've been doing so far, and then deciding what you want the rest of your life to be. That's what it means to dream. And of course, it starts with agreeing with God and seeking God, because He's the maker. And He has a reason for making you. God has a reason for making you, and so we will get there. So my first point, which is why we must dream. You know, I could give you a million reasons on why you must dream, but I'll just give you 3. To be honest with you though, that one is actually enough. It's the fact that you're alive. You're alive. I know if some of you today should share your stories, people will be amazed by what you've been through. A lot of you have experienced what it means to lose a loved one. Maybe you've been in an accident, but you're still here. Maybe you were once admitted at the hospital because of sickness, or maybe a heartbreak, or maybe you went through rape, or job loss, miscarriage, hurricanes. You guys living in Houston, you understand that. Maybe you've been through all that, but you're still here. You're still alive. And you know, maybe some of you are going through the difficulty right now at the moment. But guess what? You're alive during a major pandemic. A time that has claimed the lives of thousands of people. And even as we speak, there are people at the hospital that have no idea what their fate is. But you are here, you're breathing. Every single day, there's something that you do 20, 30,000 times. And you don't even think about it. You breathe. You're breathing 23,000 times every single day. You know, a lot of people have said that this year 2020 is the worst year ever. But I like to look at it differently. This year 2020 is the year that you have been spared. At least so far you have been spared. The fact that you're still breathing, there are so many people that would gladly take your place right now. Because we don't always remember. We're focusing so much on the difficulties that this year has brought, to the point where we've forgotten that there are so many people just like us on January 1st who wrote their New Year resolution. They wrote down their dreams. Some of them made vision boards. They made wedding plans. There were some brides that were looking forward to their wedding this year. There were people who made birthday plans, graduation plans. But guess what? They're not here anymore. They're no more. And they would gladly switch places with us right now, regardless of all the difficulties that we think we have. The fact that you're alive, there's a reason why God has spared you till now, regardless of whatever you've been going through. And that alone, the fact that you're still here, despite all that you've been through, maybe you went through divorce, maybe you're an orphan, maybe it was hard for you to pay school fees, you're still here. We all have stories. But the truth is, the fact that you're still here tells you that God is not done with you. And that in itself is enough for you to think about, okay, what can I do with the rest of my life? This is how far I've come. For you to decide, you know what, I don't want to live the normal life, you know, go to school, get a job, start working 9 to 5, then waiting for retirement. No, it's enough. The fact that you're alive is enough for you to think about what to do with the rest of your life and to decide to live an extraordinary life. And that brings me to the second reason why you must dream. And it's because you are unique. You are unique. With your scars, with your story, with your past, whatever it is that your experience has been like, there's only one of you. I don't know if you ever, like, once in a while just sit down and think about the fact that there are 7.8 billion human beings on this earth. 7.8 billion. And guess what? Not one of them is exactly like you. You stand out. You're unique. There is nobody else like you. Everything about you, even the things that you don't like about you, everything about you makes you unique. Everything. You are not a number. You're a gift. Once in a while, just sit down and think about just your body. From your head to your toes. Do you know that there's so much happening at the same time inside of you? Have you ever wondered how your eyes communicate with your hands, especially when there's food in front of you?
or how your nose suddenly smells something just as Madame finished cooking. You know, have you ever wondered how your legs just go where your mind wants to go? Like if you're trying to go to the left, your leg doesn't go to the right, otherwise something is wrong. But somehow your leg cooperates with your brain and your eyes, and you go where you want to go. There's so much happening inside of you. All the veins, all the tissues, the cells, the blood is flowing through where it should go through. The water is going where it should go. You're like a complex machine. You're like a machine. You're like a whole factory. You're unique. You're complex and you're sophisticated. No, you're not a number. You're a gift. And a lot of times people would use what is unique about you. They may try to use that to conquer you. They may try to use that to bring you down. If you're a short person, thank God I'm not short. I know when people meet me, they say I'm short, but I refuse it. I refuse to be short. If you're a short person, there are so many sports just for short people. Well, sports where short people do best, you know, like gymnasts. And there are just so many sports that when you're short, you tend to do really well. Table tennis, if you're short, you tend to do really well. Sometimes people say, oh, you have an accent. Do you know that there are movies that are looking for your accent right now? Oh, I believe that there are movies that are looking for my accent. They just haven't found me yet. But wherever there are the movie producers that need this beautiful accent, let them find your girl. There are people that are looking for your accent. Whatever it is that you despise about you, you never know. That may be the key to your dreams. One of the richest TV stars, Sophia, one of the richest Latina TV stars, Sophia. You know, some people make fun of her accent, but girlfriend is making a lot of money because of that accent. Everything about you makes you unique, whether you like it or not. God has invested so much. Nothing about you is an accident as far as God is concerned. And He took His time in making you. Although some of you, God took extra time. Like Call It the War, I think God took extra time in making, because He doesn't hear what you know. So, but God spent a lot of time perfecting you, from the way you look on the outside, including the way you look inside. Some of you have the biggest heart. You just like to encourage people. There's a reason why you're made the way you're made. There's a reason why you're wired the way you're wired. But the moment you start trying to be like someone else, that's when you start abandoning your own purpose. And you cannot abandon your purpose and be all that you were meant to be. You have to learn to embrace all of you. The ones that you like, the ones that you don't like, because God knows how to use it all for good. And having said that, I do understand that some people are going through a tough time right now. Like, this is an uncertain time. Millions of people have lost their jobs. And some people are not sure whether they lost their jobs or not. They're still going to work. They don't know whether they will get paid or not. Some people, their salaries have been slashed into half. Things are really tough right now. But like I said earlier, there is nothing about it that surprises God. Even with the latest development, God is not there in heaven scratching His head that, hey, Angel Gabriel, what are we going to do? This guy just lost his job. What am I going to do? My Father and my God. God doesn't call my Father and my God. I'm the only one that calls my Father and my God. God is not freaking out about everything that has happened in your life. He's not in heaven saying, "Hey, I didn't see that coming." No. But the truth of the matter is, the bigger your dreams, the bigger your obstacles will be. And it's because God takes us through valleys before we get to the mountain tops. You know, Yoruba people would say, "Ẹni tí ó bá jẹ oyin kò ní wẹnu àáké." Is that right? Ẹni tí ó bá jẹ oyin inú àpáta. Thank you, Victor. When it's called over, when you need him, by the way, you're supposed to translate that, you know. So And then they say any two bag guy, which means sometimes if you're going to be really tall, you may have skinny legs. You know, I don't know if this applies to everybody. This is just Yoruba program. But all I'm trying to say is, when God wants to take you to a higher ground, a lot of times you have to fight some battles. Sometimes you have to fight battles within you. Sometimes you have to fight battles with people that you expected to understand. And that's another thing, not everybody would buy into your dreams. And sometimes people that are closest to you, that you would hope that they would understand why you want to do this or why you feel like you're supposed to do this, they may be the first people to discourage you. But guess what? God does that deliberately. I don't know if you've ever thought about the fact that so many people who made huge difference, even in the Bible, they went through tough times. You know, sometimes whenever I read the story of Joseph, I would literally cry. Because when I read Bible stories, I try to imagine that it is happening right now, that I'm there. I would literally cry. Look at all that he went through. And because of what? Because he had a dream. When I think about the story of David, this man was hunted for years. David was homeless, and he was already a celebrity at that time. If you guys will recall, he had already killed Goliath. He was a celebrity, people were singing about him, but he was homeless, not for days, not for weeks, but for years. For years. You know, being a celebrity doesn't mean that you have money. I thought I should put this out there because there's someone out there that feels like blessing other people. So I'm just saying, you may be popular, people may know you, but that doesn't mean that you don't go through troubles. And you know, Esther was an orphan, but she eventually became a queen. And it's not just about people who went through tough times. There were people who lost everything. And I mean everything. Someone like Job. Job literally lost everything. He even had to bury 10 children. May we never bury our children. But do you know how hard it is for someone to bury one child? Some people were never the same after that. Now think about having to bury 10 children. All of his children, not one was left. What Job went through, some people cannot even go through 1/20 of it. Will start asking, where is God? Will start saying, that's it, I'm not dreaming anymore. Get up. If Job could get back up on his feet, he lost his business, all his businesses. He lost everything. Everything. There was nothing else, including his health. He lost everything money-wise. He lost his family, and then he lost his health. But see how his life ended. It doesn't matter what you're going through right now. It doesn't have to determine how the rest of your life would be. And it doesn't matter what you've been through. It's supposed to make you stronger. There's a reason why God lets us go through the things that we go through. I mean, if I should tell you some of the things that these small eyes of mine have seen, you may not believe it. You know, my parents, they loved each other, but they're very different. My dad, he loved watching wrestling. Okay, I mean, even though he's a pastor, he enjoyed watching wrestling. So I grew up watching wrestling with my dad, me and my brother. And my mom would always complain, Baba Big Bear, why are you watching wrestling? You should not let these children watch wrestling, this, that. Oh, my mom is more conservative. My dad, not so much. That's the difference. Okay, my mom is very conservative. My dad is, you know, I think I took after my dad in so many ways. So me and my brother would watch wrestling to the point where we would wrestle each other in the living room. Amen, somebody. I don't know what I was thinking. My brother is, I think he's 3 years older than me. He's tall, he's like 6. He's tall, I'm 5'5". I shouldn't say my height so that people don't think I'm short. Anyway, when we were younger, we would wrestle each other in the living room on the couch. My wrestling name was Mamiya. Don't ask how we came up with that name. It's a very long story. Anyway, whenever we were watching wrestling with my dad, my mom would start saying, no, turn it off, it's violent, this is that. And my dad would say, Mama Big Bear, come, they are fighting. And my mom would start running like, who's fighting? Like, because she didn't know the wrestling was on. And my dad would say, go and bring Oromo. Oromo is what you used to make. I'm like, go and bring Oromo to separate them. And my mom would just start laughing. Like, in 1 minute she was complaining about watching wrestling. The next minute my dad is joking about it. She has no choice. She would just sit there and watch with us, you know. She would start laughing so hard. So they were very different. So when I was getting towards the end of my my college program, my first degree, my parents called. And my mom was like, okay, she once you're done, you have to come home and get married. My dad was like, oh my God, it's okay, go for your master's. When you're done with your master's, get your PhD and then let's talk about marriage. My parents, they were so different like that. And you know, since I was in freshman year, the first year of college, I would write down, I have a book that I call the Book of Dreams. I didn't know anything about vision boards or, you know, I didn't even know what I was doing at the time. It's just that those thoughts would come to mind and I would just write them down. I call them my book of dreams. And I would write down like TV shows. I would write down having my own media company. I would write down having a TV station, what it would like, and I would write all these things down. And I thought I was crazy, but I would always talk to my dad about all these things, and my dad would always encourage me. And I just want to say right there that African parents, we need to work more on encouraging our children to be what they want to be, not what we think that they should be. I think some parents, they wish they were something they were not, and now they want their kids to be that thing that they were not. Don't do that. Like, don't kill their dreams. And also, a lot of African parents, they don't talk to their kids about what they like. Like, even if the kids are here in the US, they go to school, they come back. How was school? Did you score A? How was the test? What did you score? Like, parents don't sit down with their kids and be like, tell me about your classes. Which one do you enjoy the most? What do you see yourself doing in the next 5 years? Like, just to hear from the kids, which one is more difficult? How can we work around that to make it? So my dad was always very, very supportive, because he never once said to me, he would always say to me, you can do it. And I didn't know anybody in my family that was a journalist or that wanted to be on TV, but I wanted to do this, and he would always encourage me, to the point where my dad was helping me to look for a land, because I said I wanted to have a media company. This was still me in college. I didn't have any money or anything. And he started looking for a land for me to build my media company. That's how supportive he was. He had no idea what I was gonna do or who I was gonna become. But you want to have your media company, he was in full support of it. So when they were having that argument, that when my mom was like, oh, she has to come home and get married, my dad was like, get your master's and then get your PhD. I was so happy because he knew I wanted to do my master's. And the only reason I wanted to do my master's was because even though I've learned quite a bit in media in the undergraduate program, I knew I needed to learn more. I wanted to perfect video editing. I wanted more practice-based experience. I wanted to perfect being a presenter, being in front of the camera, being behind the camera, being a producer. Like, I wanted to learn more. The only problem is I didn't have money, but I had that dream of going for my master's program, because I saw a graduate program at CUNY Graduate School of Journalism that I really, really, really loved. It's practice-based. They said from day one you're going outside to interview people. And it was true. You start carrying the camera from day one. You start going about with this big camera. So I wanted to go to New York. My undergraduate program was in Michigan, so I wanted to move to New York for this program. And I applied for a scholarship that I was so sure that I would get. I mean, after writing 9 different essays and doing so many other things, I was so sure I would get this scholarship. And it was supposed to cover my school tuition, my living expenses in New York. And then just few days to me moving to New York, I heard back from them that I was not selected. And I just felt like my whole dream was ending. I felt like that's the end of my dream. I remember taking my bike and I went into into the woods, like really deep in the woods. It was just me, and I sat down and I just cried, and I cried and I cried and I cried. And then after crying until I couldn't cry anymore, I started singing. I was in difficult times like that. All I do is just worship God. I started singing and singing, and then when I go back home in the evening, because I couldn't even pray, I got back home in the evening, and my brother was like, "Oh, Dad has been trying to reach you," and I was like, "You didn't tell him?" He's like, "Yeah, I did." I didn't want to tell him because I didn't want to disappoint him. And then when he called, he's like, "Why are you down? Why are you crying? Like, do you know all that I have been through before I became who I am? Like, God is gonna make a way for you, just like He made a way for me." I still remember that conversation till today. It's like, "You have no reason to cry. Just pack your things. You're going to New York. God is gonna." And I'm like, "Dad, how am I gonna pay? You don't have it. We don't have it. I didn't get the scholarship." But he insisted, "No, you pack your stuff. You're gonna go to New York, and you're gonna make it in New York." And so he didn't have to spend a dime when we were in college, but he ran around and he gathered $5,000. This was 2007. He got $5,000, and that's the only time that my father ever had to give me anything for my education since I moved to the US. And so he sent me $5,000, and the $5,000 was for me to buy a laptop. The laptop that the school required with all the editing software and everything we need was $3,000. Remains $2,000. The remaining $2,000, I used that to make a payment for a semester, a payment at the house where I was living. It's called the International House. So I didn't have tuition fees. I didn't have anything to spend. I was so broke, I took a bus from Michigan to New York. So I was on the road for 2 days. And I got to New York and they lost my luggage. So imagine, you're in New York, you don't have anybody, and you don't even have your luggage. So I didn't have my luggage for days. Anyway, when I went to the school for the orientation, they kept saying, "You are not allowed to work. This program is very intensive. There is no time to work. But if you must work, nothing more than 10 hours. Otherwise, we'll have to drop you." And so I didn't know what to do. I started fasting and praying. I would look at my dream book. I'd be like, "God, I really need this program. If I want to make videos, I need to know how to edit. I need to know how to present. I really want this program." I started fasting and praying. I didn't even know what I was expecting God to do. I just wanted to be able to go through the program. And so I went to the school and I told them, "You guys said that we can work. If I don't work, I cannot pay for school. Actually, I don't have a job either. I don't know how I'm going to pay for this program. I just know I'm here. I'm here. I have no means of paying for this program." And the school looked at me like, "How do you come without, you don't have money and you came, They looked at me like, "What, you're here? You don't have money, but you're here? Oh my God. Listen, it's okay, we'll get back to you later." So I continued my fasting and prayer, and I should remember writing all this in my journal. This happened within 3 days, because I remember I fasted for 3 days. And then they called me after, I think the following day, they called me, they had a meeting, and they said to me, "Okay, so you're an international student. So what we're about to do, we are not supposed to do because you're an international student. So you are not allowed to tell anybody." I said, "Okay. So I'm not telling you guys. You didn't hear this from me. I didn't tell you." So they said to me, "We're going to give you full scholarship." I started crying. I started crying so bad. I started crying like, "What am I hearing? I'm getting full scholarship? Like, no way." I started crying, and then after crying for some time, they were like, "Do you need tissue to wipe your tears because we're not done?" I was like, "Uh-oh." They said, "So you would need a job. So we're going to give you a job on campus." And we told everybody else, "You can only work 10 hours, but we'll let you work for 20 hours. And we'll pay you $20 per hour." I started crying again. I was like, "Oh, God, why?" I just could not believe it. And then they were like, okay, wipe your tears because we're not done. I was like, you mean there's more? And they said to me, you need money. We're giving you a $10 stipend. We're giving you a $10,000 stipend. $10,000. They gave me full scholarship. They gave me a job. They gave me $10,000 for me to, pay for housing, because they didn't offer housing. I lived at an international house, so you have to pay for that separately. Look at what God did. And it was all because I had a dream. I wanted to do video. I wanted to know how to present, how to edit. I wanted to go for the program, but I couldn't afford it. And I would always remember my dad, because he was calling me every day at that time so that I wouldn't do something stupid. It's like, no, you're not coming back home right now. You're going to New York. You're going to make, like, he was telling me all these things without knowing how God will provide. And he would talk to me like it has already happened. Like, sometimes I wish he's alive to see what God has done today, But I also know that he's alive. I know that he can see me. But I wouldn't have been here today if not for his support. So when we go through tough times, God knows how to bring us out of it and to actually use that for our good. In 1946, two brothers started a restaurant. And then 3 years after that, one of them died in a plane crash. The second brother was heartbroken, of course. But after some time, he opened another restaurant, only for that one to catch fire. Everything burnt down. Yeah. As if it couldn't get worse, the doctors discovered polyps in his colon, and so they had to do a surgery. It took so long for him to recover because he had some complications. And then 6 months after that, they discovered more polyps, and they had to do more surgery. He didn't even think that he would make this second surgery. He was so sure that he would die, to the point where he wrote down that he should have eaten more chicken. He loved chicken. He really, really loved chicken. And he wished he ate more chicken because he thought he was about to die. And his wife said to him, God is not done with you. And he survived that surgery. He opened another restaurant. Within 6 months, he had to close it down because it wasn't moving. But he kept playing with this chicken recipe. He kept playing with it. He kept playing with it. To cut a long story short, that's how we got Chick-fil-A. If that man had given up at that time, when he lost his brother, that was also his business partner, when his restaurant was burnt to the ground, if he had given up when he was sick and he had to do all those surgeries, we would have Chick-fil-A. I'm not saying that you have to go and eat at Chick-fil-A. I'm just saying, whenever you pass by a Chick-fil-A, just remember that story. So whatever it is that you've been through or that you're going through right now, God knows how to use all of that for his glory in your life. And the last reason why you must dream is because there are people whose lives will be directly affected by your decision to go after your dreams. In fact, whatever decisions we make right now, it's affecting people whether we know it or not. The decisions that you are making. As parents, do you know that the quality of life that your children have is in direct correlation with the decisions that you have made as a parent? And the quality of life that you have growing up has a lot to do with what your parents did or what they didn't do. So you deciding to go after your dreams, you deciding to live an extraordinary life and not just the status quo, not just the normal life, would affect a lot of people. I went to Atlanta some times ago and I met a woman who has a foundation that helps girls with BBF. And she said it was because she watched my show, she felt moved to start this foundation. I may never meet any of these girls, but do you know that what she's doing has a lot to do with the fact that I decided to be obedient to go after my own dreams. So you going after your dreams, it's not about you. When we tell people you need to dream, you need to live life to the fullest, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about so many people whose lives will be touched if you go after your dreams. So If you're supposed to be a medical doctor, there are people that you will save their lives. If you're supposed to open your restaurant, there are people that you are meant to feed. When we got to Texas yesterday, we're actually 10 pounds lighter until Pastor Moji, I believe that's her name, brought us food from her restaurant. I hope everybody is aware of Pastor Moji's restaurant. I heard that it just started because you have to go and eat there. We were 10 pounds lighter. Not so, yeah, you know. Until we tasted her food, we couldn't stop. You know, we just, tastes so good. Pastor Moji, I am so grateful that you decided to follow your dreams to open that restaurant. If she hadn't opened that restaurant, oh my God, we would have tasted something else, but it wouldn't have been what we tasted from her. Amen, somebody. You going after your dreams. Pastor Badru opening this church, I'm sure has blessed so many lives right now because he decided to obey God. Maybe you are meant to go into athletics or something that nobody else has been into in your family. You may never know how your story would inspire someone else to go after their dreams. So it's very important for you to obey and go after your dreams. You are way too unique. God has invested way too much in you. You're too sophisticated for you to live a normal life. Your story, both the good and bad, your pains, everything. Don't forget the fact that people who make the biggest impact, they're usually the ones who go through the biggest obstacle. So you have to go. You have to obey God because there are people waiting. I'm so glad that I'm doing my show. I hope you guys are enjoying it. You know, I get to bring you news. I get to bring you news. But just imagine, what if I didn't do what I'm doing? Obviously, someone else will do it, but everybody's wired differently. It may not be the way I do it. They may do it better. They probably will do it better. But I'm glad that you guys are enjoying me. At least for now, you guys are enjoying me. So thank you for watching. So if you are enjoying my show, that's a good analogy on why you must follow your dreams. Because it's not, when I do my show, I don't do it for me. It's for you guys to enjoy. You going after your dreams would make a huge impact in other people's lives. And there are people whose destinies are directly tied to you going after your dreams. So you must dream. Now, if you're wondering how to dream, which is the second thing I wanted to talk about, the first thing is to believe what God says about you, not what you see, not what people say about you. And God can talk to you in different ways. If there's something that has been on your mind for so long, you can't get rid of it, chances are God wants you to do something about it. And the first thing to do about it is to write it down. So at this point, I would like for you all to please take your cell phones. Take your cell phones. Wave it. Let me see it. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Okay, take your cell phones. And I want you to send a text message to yourself. Okay? Please, start by saying, Dear Adeola Fayehun. Not me, write your name. You know, just your first name, you know, Dear Adeola. And then write, this is what I want to be remembered for. It's easier for me to say these things, but people don't actually do it after you talk about it. So I really want to take 5 minutes and do this exercise. So write your first name. Dear James, this is what I want to be remembered for. And I just want you to take 1 minute. If you should die today, you will not die. Not one of us will die in Jesus' name. Amen, somebody. But if you should die today, what would you want people to say about you? Doesn't matter how old you are, you should all participate in this exercise. So just write down 5 things that you want to be remembered for. Just write it down. 5 things. Like, forget about everything that has happened. If you have all the resources in this world, write down the 5 things that you would want people to say about you when you die. I hope somebody is writing, dear so. This is what I want to be remembered for. For some people, it's hard for them to just jump on such an exercise. They need everything to be still and dark, and then some people will cry forth and be like, I have never actually thought about this. So, but it's true. Someday people will say things about you, and you won't be here to dispute it, because they will only talk about what they see you do. Nobody will know what is in your heart. Some people are walking around with the best dreams ever, but they're not doing anything about it. The richest place, as you guys are aware, is the graveyard. So many dreams buried there. So before you are buried, think about it. What do I want to be remembered for? And write them down. And that's the first thing. It's not hard to dream. Everybody that this COVID-19 had claimed their lives, when we remember them today, we talk about what they did before they were taken. And that's what people will talk about you. So write it down. And if you're not happy with what you have done so far, you've been given a second chance to do it all over. It's a privilege to be alive every single day. So write down just the 5 things that you would love to do. I think it's very important for you to start taking yourself serious enough to write down your dreams. I feel like the reason why some people don't write down their dreams is because they don't take themselves serious. If you're not taking yourself serious, you don't expect other people to take you seriously. So you have to be serious about this. Write it down. Even if it's uncomfortable, write it down. And then the next thing to do when it comes to dreaming, and some things that you would write down would be long term, some things would be short term, some things will be in the next 5 years. It's all about asking yourself, where do I see myself in the next 5 years? What do I see myself doing? And then the second thing to do is what we call a vision board. There's nothing special about having a vision board. It's just to put your dreams before you so that you can be more focused. I don't know if you guys have noticed, whenever you buy a new car, like you suddenly start seeing your car on the street, you suddenly start noticing everybody else that has your kind of car. No, so as a matter of fact, if you buy new shoes, whatever it is that you buy, suddenly you start noticing it if you see someone else with that. And that is what a vision board does. It's like putting up pictures that depict what you have in mind. When I was in college at that time, and I said I had the book of dreams, whenever I see a picture that goes with what I was writing, I would cut it out and I would hide it in my book of dreams. I didn't know anything about vision boards at the time. I would just save it. I'm like, oh, this reminds me of my dreams. So having a vision board, I made a video about it on how to make a vision board, so I don't want to go through everything. But basically, you write down first the things you want, the things you believe God wants you to do, and then you look for pictures that has to do with what you've written down, and then you put them on the vision board. I advise people to look at their vision board every single day because of the next thing, which is you have to write down the goals, you have to write down the steps that you have to take, and that is where the hard work comes. And that is what makes a difference between people who dream and it comes to pass and people who dream and it doesn't come to pass. A lot of people have wishful thinking. They think that is a dream. If your dream is not followed by action, it's just wishful thinking. You're just wishing. We wish all the time. Oh, I wish I can have a plate of amala right now. But if I don't get up and actually go to, there's a restaurant here called Amala Zone, right? If I don't get up and go to Amala Zone, I will not have a plate of amala. I'm just wishing. That's what we call wishful thinking. But having a dream and then taking the steps that you need to take towards it, that is what it means to go after your dreams and to live your best life now. So after making the vision board, you need to write down the steps that you need to take, which means you may need to change some things. Maybe somebody's dream is to open, is to save $10,000, okay? But if you're not willing to change your lifestyle to save money, maybe you want to save $10,000 between this July and December. We have 6 months left. So you need to divide 10,000 by 6 to know how much you need to save every single month. Now, if you're not willing to deprive yourself to save that much money, maybe you should reduce the price to 5,000 so that we know that we are being reasonable here, you know. so that you can, if you're not willing to do the work, there's no point dreaming. You're just having wishful thoughts. So make sure that you write down the goals and then write down the things you need to do in order for you to be the person you want to be. See, I told you that I knew I wanted to go into TV. I knew I wanted to know how to edit. I knew I wanted to know how to present. And one of the things that I needed to do was to go to that graduate school, that particular one that is practice-based. That's like me taking a step towards my dream. And I followed, even though I didn't have money, I took a bus from Michigan to New York. I came, I showed up, and then God showed off. You know what I mean? Like I showed up and then God showed off for me. Like he made a way. So, but you have to first of all do that. So write down the things you want to be remembered for, long term, short term. Make a vision board. If you don't know how to make a vision board, I made a video on how to make a vision board. It's on YouTube. And then write down the things that you need to do, the steps that you have to take in order to be there. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is live your life. And I'm talking about this so that you know how to enjoy life. Okay, let me rephrase that. The last thing I want to talk about is how to enjoy life right now. If you want to enjoy your life right now, there's only one secret to it: mind your business. I don't mean that as an insult, but you have to live your life. I feel like a lot of people are living someone else's life. Stop living someone else's life. Stop trying to be like somebody. A lot of people are competing with people that don't even know that you exist. Some people will be driving on the road, and the moment someone passes them, they press on. They just want to overtake the person by fire by force. They press on the gas. They start speeding. They want to overtake this person. And the person has no clue that there's a competition going on. Everybody is going separate ways, man. You guys will not even, in like 2 minutes, you've lost this person. You may never even meet in life. But you're competing with the person. Does that make any sense? There are people that would be like, oh, did you see how they arranged their house? We need a couch like that. We should get that kind of couch. If someone has it at the back of their mind to be financially free and they want to go into real estate and they are not buying expensive things, they are putting all their money into real estate. They are able to do that because they know where they are going. They know it's not that they don't have money to furnish their house like other people, but when you have a goal, that is what it does to you. It helps you to stay focused, you know. I can focus on the fact that there are people with millions of subscribers right now, but at the same time, there are people that have fewer subscribers than I do. So I can just focus on how far I've come and stay on my own lane. If I'm meant to have millions of subscribers, someday it will happen. We're working towards it. By the grace of God, it's going to happen. Amen, somebody. But for me to now be comparing myself with somebody else would be really stupid because their life is different. My goal in life is different. My mission, my purpose in life is different. Stop competing with people. Stop comparing yourself with, and I want to beg Nigerian parents especially, please stop telling your children to look at somebody else's child. That is how you will kill their dreams. The moment you start saying, didn't you see today? He's done with med school. He's getting ready to get married. Well, I don't enter. I know one woman who is so upset that her daughter is not married yet. She's constantly reminding her how old she is. Guess what? The daughter ran away, as in, she doesn't talk to her. So if you don't want to push your children away, please don't do that. Don't compare your children with any other child. The fact that somebody was successful before your child doesn't mean that your own child will not be successful or even more successful. The fact that someone got married before you doesn't mean that they are having a happier marriage than you would have. Do not compare yourself. And I know the society doesn't help, especially in Nigeria. They spell it out for you. Okay, now that you are doing this, you are old enough to look for somebody to marry. A lot of girls, they feel like they are under pressure if they are not married by 30. it's not the end of the world. And some people have married the wrong person just because they feel like they're supposed to get married at that time. Do not compare yourself with somebody. Mind your own business. Like, just live your life. Like, just do you. If you are doing you, it's more than enough for your hands to be full. Just doing you, focusing on your own dreams. It will be more than enough for your hands to be full. You won't have time to be looking at what someone else is doing. So if you want to enjoy your life right now, mind your business. Focus on what you are doing. See it through. Make sure that you be the best of you, not that you are better than someone else. Don't try to be better than somebody else. Just be the best that you can be. And the last point in that segment is be happy for others. When you see other people's dreams come to pass, please be genuinely happy for them, because God has a plan for you too. And He doesn't, and in fact, sometimes the plan He has for your life may be bigger than what you're seeing. So be happy for others. That's how you will get to your destination more quickly. You know, whenever I read the story of Joseph, I always think about Judah. When they decided to sell Joseph, you guys know it was Judah who said, why don't we sell him? I mean, all his brothers were jealous of him. All his brothers were jealous. He was the most loved by his dad. They were all jealous of him. And they sold him. I think it's so sad, because what Judah didn't know was that God had a plan for his life as well. Yeah, He had a plan for Joseph, but He had a plan for Judah as well. And I feel like the fact that he was the one who spearheaded selling him, I think he felt so guilty. I think that's one of the reasons he left home, because the Bible said he left home, he went to a foreign land, he got married, but then he lost his wife, he lost 2 of his sons, and then he came back. So the funny thing is, fast forward, today we have a Messiah whom we call the Lion of the tribe of Judah. We don't say the Lion of the tribe of Joseph. Like, God's plan for Judah's life was to go from generation to generation, even thousands of years after he's no more. People still say Judah, like the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Like, his tribe, the tribe of Judah, is well recognized. It's on everybody's lips. People don't talk about Joseph like that. So I just wanted to say, be happy for others, because you don't know what God has in store for you. You don't know God's plan for you. It may even be bigger than that other person's that you are seeing right now. Even if what they received, their dream coming to pass, maybe it's the exact thing that you want. Be happy for them, because God uses that to test us whether we are ready for our blessing or not. If you're not happy for somebody else, you are not ready to receive your own blessing. Because when you receive your blessing too, there will be people that will be happy for you, there will be people that will hate you. So if you don't know how to handle someone else's blessings, you're not ready for yours. So don't forget, if you want to live your best life right now, mind your business. Do not compete yourself with anybody, and don't compete your child with anybody. And then be happy for others, especially when they get exactly what you've been praying for. The exact car that I was praying for, color blue, and you gave it to Brother Johnson. Like, he didn't even want a car. When God does that, be happy for others. It shows that you're ready for your blessing, and also God may have something bigger and better for you. Now, to recap, because I know I've talked a lot, I've talked about why you must dream. I've talked about how to dream. I hope that you guys sent yourself that text message, those 5 things. Please send it to yourself if you haven't. Those 5 things, because you may forget about this conversation. But the letter you wrote to yourself, Dear Adeola, this is what I want to be remembered for. Make sure that you send that to yourself. And also don't forget to mind your business in order to live your best life. And the last thing I want to say is, after writing down your vision board, your dreams, after making your vision board, don't wait for everything to be perfect. Give God what you have. Start with what you have, and then let God amaze you. And I'm going back to what I did in moving to New York. It was crazy for me to move to New York without money. But then God multiplied my effort. He crowned my effort. I always think about that boy when Jesus fed 5,000 people and they were looking for food, and he's like, oh, I have this bread and this pieces of fish. I'm very sure there were people who laughed at him that day. Like, we're talking about real food. You are bringing out your lunchbox. Oh boy, he's fine. He's just trying to help. He's just trying to help. I'm sure there were people who laughed at him because it's inconceivable that 5,000 men, not to count the women and children, will eat from his lunchbox. It was inconceivable. But guess what he did? He gave it to Jesus. He gave what he had to God. You know, God multiplied that. So sometimes we think what we have is nothing. But just give it to God and let him make it something. I listened to some gospel songs that took me through a lot of tough times. And I'm sure that some of the songwriters, when they were writing them, they didn't even know what their songs would do. Whatever it is, give it to God. Whatever you're good at, whatever you know how to do, don't think that it's small. Don't think that it's nothing. If you give it to God, he knows how to multiply it. Thank you so much for having me today. Now let's peace out proper for real. So if you don't have to peace out the way Adeola peaces out, let's peace out together. Alright, y'all, it's been real, and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Until next time, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace out.
Thank you so much, Adeola, for that wonderful session. That was extremely educative and informational. It was indeed very loaded. You know, when I was told that I was going to be moderating this session, I literally took out my phone and I sent out the news to basically everyone on my network. So I guess maybe for me, if for anything, I want to be remembered as somebody who moderated a session with Adeola, keeping it real. I have learned so much, and the platforms are bursting with comments and accolades. Everything, like you have mentioned, everything and everyone was made for a purpose. You know, the bigger your dreams, the bigger your challenges. So sometimes we have to fight with people, even those that sort of are close to us or even our relatives. You gave the example that what Joseph went through and how that inspires so many people to pursue their dreams. Believe what God says about you. Do not believe what you say. You know, that is a word in due season. We see ourselves right now with where we are, you know, with the pandemic and all that is around us right now. And it's hard sometimes to fathom what the future really holds for those who have businesses, for those who had dreams. And, you know, like you gave the example of Job, things are looking sideways for some and just looking like it's not just going to happen. That dream is not just going to materialize. But like you said, be obedient and go after your dreams. It's not about you. It's about the people that you know, touch and the lives that you would actually impact in all of this. I was actually at a session at some point when it was young adults and youth, and the speaker said, bring out, you know, a note and write what you want to be written on your obituary, similar to this. And they were like, seriously, our obituary, it's like decades to come. But it actually brought into perspective what you're saying today, which is, what do you really want to be remembered for? Start working towards it. You might look far away, but now is the time to start working, you know, towards that dream. Write what you want to be remembered for, and regardless of what it is, the Lord will see us through. Of course, we have questions in, and the most common question wherever you go has come up again. And the first question we'll ask is, are we going to see Koledo? And that was the first question that came up. Over to you.
Hello?
Yes, over to you.
You said that
the question that came up on our platforms was, are we going to see Koledo?
Sorry. He's here somewhere. He's very yellow. Did you see anybody wearing yellow? Please tell him I'm calling him to come and say hi, but you already know. You probably would not. Maybe not right. I think he's a little bit shy. Are you shy? Don't say I did. No, sorry. He said we need to talk about this after the service. I'm sorry. He said I didn't prepare him to.
Okay, we'll accept that. Okay, you talked about writing down our dreams, and you also mentioned about your dreams, and how you wrote down your dream of owning a media house, and so much more. How early in life did you know that you had something in you, that spark to woo a crowd and entertain people? Is it ever too late to go after one's dreams for those who haven't even started pursuing their dreams?
So first of all, it is never, ever, ever, never too late to go after your dream. Never, ever. The owner of KFC, I think he was in his 60s when he started. Can you imagine how many people have been to KFC today? Don't you love their chicken? I mean, because I think it's healthy. But their chicken tastes so good. The man was in his 60s when he started KFC. What if he didn't start simply because he was like, I'm in my 60s? Age is just a number. I try to tell people this all the time. A lot of people put what's it called? They put a limitation on themselves just based on the number. Oh, I'm 30 now. I can't just be doing those YouTube things. Those are for kids. Those are for kids in their 20s, whatever. I know an elderly woman on TikTok. She's one of the most popular people on TikTok today. She's a grandmother. And she has a lot of followers. She's just doing it to have fun. So age is never a reason not to go after your dreams. You're never too old to go after your dreams. Now, how early did I know? It's funny enough, when I was growing up, if people asked me what I wanted to be, I would say I wanted to be a lawyer. My first sister is a lawyer, and I said I wanted to be a lawyer because back then you're either a lawyer or a doctor. Those are the two lucrative jobs in Nigeria at the time. But at the same time, whenever I come back from school at the time, I would watch Femi Oke on CNN. And I would act like I was Femi Oke. Like, you could see me doing these things. But if you ask me what I wanted to be, I would say I wanted to be a lawyer. But then when I moved to the US to go to college, and they said to me, oh, you can declare whatever major. Like, you can be whatever you want to be. You can study whatever you want to be. I mean, you can study whatever you want to study. That was really strange to me, because when I was at the university back home, they gave me what I was going to study. I wanted law, they gave me linguistics. So I was studying linguistics. And then I came to America, and America said, oh, you can be whatever you want to be. You can study whatever. And then the devil said, like, you don't mean it. They said, oh, yeah. You have the first 2 years to decide your major. As like, hey, 2 years. I already know. I don't need 2 years. I said I wanted to go into TV. I wanted to go into media. And they said, oh, you can have double majors. You can major in journalism, and you can also major in mass communication. So I had double majors. So I majored in journalism and mass communication. But my undergraduate school didn't have enough TV experience. I didn't have enough TV experience with my undergraduate school. We were more into radio. I did radio from my first year and so my last year, and I also did newspaper, radio and newspaper. I did both for the 4 years, but I wanted to do TV more. So when I started learning how to edit when I was in my undergraduate program, but it was linear editing, the old school editing. They still use that at some NTAs, by the way, and I'm speaking from experience. No shades to NTA, but I'm just saying. So then I knew I wanted to go more into TV, and that's why I wanted to go to that graduate school. Funny enough, it's the only graduate school that I applied for after my first degree. So it's a miracle that I was even taken, because it was a very, very competitive school. They had just opened at the time. They were only taking 50 students, I think. So it was very competitive. I'm so glad that I got in. But I knew, because I people say I talk a lot when I was younger. I don't know why anybody would say that. But that's when I was younger. They said I talked a lot. And then when I came to go to college, when I came to the US, when I moved here, and it was just me and my brother that were the only Nigerians on campus, I was so quiet that people would describe me as the girl that doesn't talk. Like, literally, I would not talk. Plus, when I first came, sometimes people would ask me stupid questions like, you have lions roaming on the street? How did you learn English? Have you ever seen a TV? So I would shut down, because I wouldn't even know how to help you right now, because I wouldn't even know where to start. Like, your case is beyond remedy. So I wouldn't say anything. So they would refer to me as the girl that doesn't talk. But surprisingly enough, every time we had an exam, I would get an A, and they would be like, how? She doesn't talk. How is she doing it? So I was very, very reserved, and I think even till today, I tell people that I'm gentle, they think that I'm joking, but depending on who I'm with and what's happening, you know, I can be very, very quiet, you know, and just observe. So I had those two sides of me, the side I will talk a lot and the side I will be quiet. But when I'm presenting, I don't feel like I'm working. When I talked about different things that people complain about, people, you know, when people tell me that I talk a lot, there are people who get paid for talking. There are people who would travel just to speak, and they get paid huge amounts of money. I don't know how to relate with that, because obviously you guys know I'm a gentle person, but I know that there are people who talk for a living and they make good money from it. So when I realized that being on TV and just presenting, for me, it's not about having a job, it's about being fulfilled. I just feel like this is something I can do. That's why I had that dream. And that's why, and I started writing it down when I was in my freshman year. Because when I came to the US, there were so many channels on TV, but there was not one about what's happening in Africa. And I just could not relate. And I'm like, where are the Africans? Where are the Nigerians? There's so much happening among Nigerians. There are millions of Nigerians here. I'm like, where are they? I don't see us on TV. And that's why, and the dream that I was actually writing down at the time was to have a media house here in the US, you know, that would cover what's happening among Africans. And when I finished my graduate program, I started reporting about Africans in New York. I did a story about the owner of Sahara Reporters. I interviewed him at the time for CUNY TV where I was working. And I started doing videos about Africans in New York, a Congolese woman who does belly dance. Like I would just make a video about them, put it out. And it was from interviewing him and also him seeing other things that I was doing that he invited me to work with him at Sahara TV, which I did for 6 years, and then I went back to doing my own thing. So I started writing my dreams down when I was in my freshman year.
Thank you so much for that, Adeola. You mentioned Job and how he lost his house, his fame, his family. You told us a touching story of how you encountered, you know, a scholarship rejection, and it seemed like the whole world really just went sideways, pretty much. I must say that I was moved to tears at the gesture and uplifting comment, you know, by your father. For those going through similar issues, everything looks just not what they expected it to be, and things are not just looking right. Not sure what to do right now, what sure not to do tomorrow. You know, what advice would you give to them on finding strength in all of these unforeseen circumstances?
So, what I would say is, if only you can see what lies ahead of you, if only God can open your eyes to see what's going to happen eventually, you won't even think twice about whatever it is you're going through right now. In fact, your attitude will be different. And that is how we're supposed to think. I had no idea that I would have a show someday. I had no idea that I would, you know, have YouTube subscribers or be doing what I'm doing or be invited to come and speak at your church. I had no idea. At the same time, God has seen all this. Even when I was looking for school fees, even when I was going to New York, oh, that bus rides to New York was a very long something. Because I will cry, I will sing. I started thinking about, okay, so if it doesn't work out, okay, I have to go back to Nigeria. I don't want to go back to Nigeria yet. I really want this thing. And then I would cry. That was a very long bus ride. And then remind myself what my father said about how God came through for him when he was an international student and how he will come through for me. Don't focus so much on what you're going through. Because when you do, you don't have space to think about what God has in store for you. As a matter of fact, it's not easy. It's very difficult. But when you're going through something, Once in a while, take your mind off of you, think about somebody else who has it worse, and think about how you can help and help them. Help them even in your need. If you're going through a tough time right now, your story is like going from point A to point B. God knows that He will get you here eventually. The fact that He's taking you like this, even though you may be stuck here, doesn't mean eventually you will not find yourself here. It's very important for you to trust in the one who wrote your story, even if you're seeing things that you never thought would happen. When my father died, honestly, I felt like a part of me died that day. And I just could not see the way forward. Like, I couldn't. It was really, really hard for me to move on. It was really bad because I was all alone in New York. And all my family members were in Nigeria except for my brother. All my sisters were in Nigeria. My brother was in Missouri. I was alone in New York. I think that made it harder that I didn't have any family member. And I remember that day, I was at work when I got the news, and of course I broke down, I cried, and everybody was trying to hold me, and then suddenly I got up, and I was like, I'll see you guys. I got up and they were like, uh-oh, follow her, we don't know what she's about to do. Everybody started running. So they had someone follow me, and I was like, no, it's okay, I'm fine, I'm just going home. But of course they followed me home. And I got home that day, I had a roommate, and I got home that day. I said to my friend who came from work, I said, there are drinks in the fridge, make yourself at home, ignore me, don't mind whatever I do. And I just started singing, and I started worshiping God. I was singing songs about how God is great, how He's God, how He's in control. Those old hymns, you know, there were so many hymns that I sang. I was singing and crying, and singing and crying. I just focused on one thing, and that was God. I had no idea my friend from work was really moved. All I know is 3 days after, I saw a note that she left for me. Her dad had passed as well. He died of cancer. And since that time, it's been hard for her to get along with God, for lack of better words. There were a lot of questions she had of God, and she wasn't going to church anymore. She was mad. And now to see me lose my dad so suddenly, I didn't even get to say goodbye. And to see me worshiping God in my pain and crying and worshiping God, and I was singing songs like, because He lives, I can face tomorrow. I was singing those songs. It is well, it is. I was singing all that and crying. She left me a note. She said, I've always known you're a Christian, but I didn't know you are like a Christian. And she wrote this like she had never dealt with her dad, but now she thinks she's gonna go back to church. And she wrote all those things, and I had no idea. I couldn't see the future. God could see it. There are so many things. I joked in my last episode, I said someday I'll write a book, and I feel like I have to write that book someday about what it's like to basically be on your own, not knowing how you will make ends meet, about what it's like not having your status in America, not having a green card, and you did everything right, you didn't cut any corners, and still you didn't have it, and people use your eyes to see Pepe, for lack of better words, like so many things, and you're doing what you know God wants you to do. You know what I mean? So if you've lost a loved one, if you've lost a job, if whatever it is that you're going through right now, worship will help you get through it, but also don't focus so much on it. God knows the end from the beginning. Once in a while, take yourself out of the picture and look at your life. But from God's perspective, focus on God, and also focus on people with more problems. Because however worse you think you have it, there are people who have it worse than you. However bad you think you have it, there are people who have it worse than you, and try to help other people. Hopefully that helps somebody.
Definitely, at least it helped me at least. Thank you so much for that. We have questions from YouTube. I'll take the next, and I'll merge Precious' question and Olubenga's question. It says, for someone who has written down her dreams, how do you keep yourself motivated to your goal amidst several distractions? Do you think strong accent is a barrier, especially if you want to make communication a career in the US? Two questions in one.
Okay, I'll answer the second question first. I don't think having an accent is a barrier. Everybody has an accent. Or Igbo people have their own accent. I'm like, why is it not like that? They said that's American accent. I said, well, this is Nigerian accent. Everybody has accent. It is not a disability. But the thing is, if you want to be in media, in fact, you don't even have to be in media. The moment you move to another country, you should be open to make sure that you learn how to talk in a way that people can understand you. You don't have to change your accent, but at least you want to make sure that people are not saying come again whenever you talk. And you know, I talked about this when I gave a speech in Canada. I'm like, there are so many classes you can take for you to better your pronunciation if you're living in America, just so that you're understandable. It's not because you're trying to belong or you're trying to fake accent. You want to make sure that wherever you live, you can communicate in a way that people can hear you. If you're a pastor, if you're into media, or if you have the kind of job that you have to relate with customers all the time, or if you want to have a business in this country, then by all means, you should take. There are so many classes. As a matter of fact, in my next episode, I'm going to talk about a lady that I know. She's a speech coach, and she helps a lot of people from different parts of the world to better their pronunciation, especially if you're trying to learn American accent. You can learn it. You're never too old to learn American accent. I wish I knew how to speak American accent. I would teach you, but I don't. So me, I'm just, we're just struggling. Yes, amen, somebody. So, but it's all about where you place, how you place your tongue, and how you use your tongue and all that. So you can learn American accent if you want to. Having an accent is never a barrier. As a matter of fact, it's good for you to learn how they speak. It's like someone going to China and learning Mandarin. It's like someone going to Kenya and learning Swahili. You will be able to communicate better with the locals. So there's nothing wrong in learning the language of the country where you live. It makes you more resourceful. At the same time, you can always switch back between that and your own Nigerian accent. I switch back all the time when I'm on my show, and especially when I'm talking about my uncles. Some of them are here, by the way. I forgot to introduce them, but we'll get to that later. Uncle Dino be like, it's okay, you can come back later to greet the people. Anyway, so you can always switch back and forth when you have a different accent, and when you learn how to speak the way the people in that country know how to speak. There are classes that you can take online, like that lady that I will talk about in my next episode, not the one that is coming out on Monday, but the one coming out after that. I'm going to talk about a lady, so watch out for that. If you want to learn her name is Katie. If you want to learn American accent, you can learn. It's never too late to learn, and it's always resourceful. It opens doors for you. That's what I'm trying to say. But don't ever feel like you can't make it because of your accent. I will be honest with you. When I started graduate program, and I was really doing well, like whenever I would present, like I was making those kinds of videos when I was in school. I've had professors who said to me that, you are really good, except for your accent. I don't know how you would do it with your accent. But I never had it in mind to be on CNN or BBC. That was never my plan. I've always wanted to tell the stories of Africans. And I know that Africans can understand me. Amen, somebody, you guys can understand. I mean, I want the whole world to understand me as well. So that was never really my goal, but I think I'm making it. I won't say I made it, but we are making it small, with the accent and everything. We thank the Lord. God has been faithful. Now, the first question was, how do you, when you've written your dreams down, how do you keep yourself motivated? Okay, amidst several distractions. I talked about vision board briefly, and I said you do a vision board so that you can stay focused. And I mentioned it briefly that having a vision board, there's no magic to it. But I always tell people that they should look at their vision board every single day. People think that it's stupid, but when I have a meeting with my PA in the morning sometimes, I said to her, she always wonders why I'm always like pumped up, ready to go, this is that. And I said, girlfriend, I have looked at my vision board this morning. I put 1 million subscribers there. We are not there yet. It tells me why I'm getting up at 5 a.m. to do whatever I want to do. You know what I mean? When I wake up in the morning after spending time with God and I look at my vision board, it's like knowing you have a deadline and you're working towards it, you know? The vision board is what helps you not to be distracted. When you go through your vision boards, you're like, okay, this is how much I said I want to save every month. How much have I saved this month? We have a lot of work to do. You start working again. You know what I mean? Like having a vision board would really, really help you. I tell people to try to put it somewhere where they will not be distracted. Somewhere where they will see it every day. That's what I meant. If you're the type that spends a lot of time in front of the mirror in the bathroom, just put a small vision board right there where you will see it every day as you're getting dressed or before you go. I put mine in my studio where I shoot so that I see it every day. Okay, this is what we're working towards. It's like having a yardstick to measure your success. And when you don't have a vision board, you won't know when you deviated and when you are distracted. But when you have a vision board, it helps you. It's like writing a to-do list every day, which I do as well. Every single day when I wake up, I write a to-do list. Sometimes I may have only 3 things on that list that will take the whole day, but I still write it down. And sometimes I may have like 10 things written down. So write a to-do list and also have a vision board. And don't just have a vision board to decorate the house. Look at it every day. It will remind you why you're getting up early. It will remind you why you are not going to one particular party because you wanted to work on your show or your YouTube channel or your dream. It will remind you why you're sacrificing things. It's because you have it in front of you where you're trying to go. Hopefully that helps.
Absolutely, that helps a great deal. Thank you so much. We still continue to have questions rolling in and all of that. We will not be able to take all your questions. We apologize. I just wanted to find out, a question now from me concerning your show. We see a number of countries now having presidents and prime ministers that belong to the younger generation. Considering you are fast heading for a followership of 1 million people, are you looking to someday be in a position of political leadership?
Wow. To even think that I have that kind of agenda is a little bit funny because I'm always talking about politicians. But I guess the important thing to me, and I've talked about this on the show several times, is I honestly want people to know that you don't have to be in politics to make a difference. I don't know if I'm making any difference, if I've made any difference in my life, but I believe I can make a difference without being in politics. I feel like if regular people would harness the power that they have, we can do so much as people without going into politics. We can do so much together. We can do so much as a people. You don't have to be in politics to help your neighbor, to help the person on your street or the beggars that you pass by every day. There are people who are already in position of authority. They are not doing well, but somehow they think if they are given a political appointment, they will suddenly do well. It's not possible. If you're not doing well as a teacher, you can't do well as a principal. But if you're doing really well as a teacher, in fact, being a principal is only your starting point. You get what I'm trying to say? So I don't have any goal of being in politics. That has never been my aim. But I'm hoping that I could inspire people that they can make a difference. That they can make a difference where they are. They can make a difference being who they are. They can make a difference without being in politics. And I always want people to actually do that, like make a difference, like where you are. See a need, meet it. Do whatever you can. Be a president in that your neighborhood. And what I mean by being a president is being the servants. I wish we would have servant leaders who see themselves as in position to serve people. If our leaders will have the mindset of being servant leaders, Nigeria would be better off. So I feel like looking for political appointment should never be anybody's goal, but look for how to make a difference right where you're planted right now. And who knows, God may open other doors for you. You may get a political appointment, but that should never be your goal. Just make a difference without being in politics. Make a difference.
Thank you so much, Adeola. We have learned so much, absolutely loaded. You have taught, be obedient and go after your dreams. And the key, it's not about you, it's about so many people whose lives will be touched. Without further ado, I would like at this point to give the opportunity to all those who are watching from our different platforms to also be a blessing if there are options for us to give an offering, a donation. We have different options. We have the Cash App, we have the Zelle, email, in person, about 6 different options. Please feel free to latch onto this opportunity. Like Adeola has mentioned, when you give, you will get. Thank you all for logging in and for streaming in and for being a part of this, even up until now. We hope you have been truly blessed. God bless you. The links and the avenues for the offering will be displayed on your screens right now.